Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Can I hear myself? Yes, I can. My system is actually working. I really love it when Steam just randomly decides to crash 5 minutes before I'm going to start stream and then hangs up when I try and reload it. And that was a great way to start off everything. A great way indeed. Well, tonight has been a night, hasn't it? So, yeah, just out of nowhere, Sakuna brings up a whole new Phase Connect generation. I wasn't prepared for that. I don't think anyone was prepared for that. And apparently, he managed to fat finger the announcement and do it before he intended to? Question mark? This is very confusing to me. Anyway, let's make sure that I've got it things set up. Yes, I do. He posted this weird little animation, which I have not watched yet. I have only started it to make sure that the audio levels are correct, so that I do not blow out your ears. So I'm curious what this is. Yeah, 7:25 p.m., less than 45 minutes ago. Here we go. Highly accurate. Okay. And here we have all of the, what do these people say on Twitter? What do these individuals say? They don't even have avatars yet. I love that. That's is this part of the scuff that because he did the thing wrong, they hadn't even set up their Twitter profiles yet properly yet? Uh this almost feels like a shit post. This almost feels like a shit post. Why is it recommending me? Okay. We have we have Cyroxus. Cyroxis. That Cyroxus? Cyroxo. One is supposed to be JP. Got hinted at during Phase Weekly last week. Yeah, I've heard that. It was supposed to be out yesterday. Why the bloody hell did he wait this long then? Proctor, follow me. No, I'm not following you, Thrang. You have demonstrated insufficient levels of fixing me recently. You have to fix me first, and then I will follow you. Follow Dizzy, you bastard. Maybe. Maybe. I'm reluctant to follow most people on Twitter that are not groomable. Yeah, I don't really follow many people on Twitter. I'm just glad that I'm not getting recommended Israeli Gaza war propaganda any longer on Twitter. My feed is pretty solidly VTubers now, which is very nice. So yeah, we've got Cyroxus. That sounds like a Final Fantasy name. Followed by Kuririnji, of course. Then we have Rooney Ruse. I'm sorry, that's a bad name. That is a really stupid name. Runny Ruse. How are you how are you supposed to say that? The ruse of the Rooney will come alluringly upon you, and you will be changed into a degenerate person. Okay, this I guess this is the generation's lewd tuber. The editor probably took longer for the vid. Okay, all right. What are the replies like? Thanks, Facebook aunt. Sheena coming in with the epic takes, of course. Our God CEO Sakuna wills that we take the internet in his name. I wonder if there is any Warhammer player out there that runs Nurgle forces that has inexplicably painted all of his great unclean ones and Nurgle demons in bright pink, and is just cruising around various tabletop Warhammer conventions and daring people to ask why. I would love to be that person. That would be great. I would be very impressed if somebody did that. Oh dear, and then I've lost my tabs. That's brilliant of me. Whole bunch of randoms here. Why do I want to click this? Oh, Why why is why is Twitter putting every single reply that is like a video or an image as potentially sensitive content? I've noticed that on Twitter for some time now. Actually, this isn't it, but like every like second or third, maybe a 4 out of 5, they're always censored. And then you have Hikanari Hina. That's a slightly better name. A slightly better name. Has she tweeted anything yet? Yes, she has. Yes, she has. So Sakuna. So these are Sakuna's malformed spawnlings. He like his roe are not particularly fertile at his age. You see, not any longer. So they come out with a few deformities. You know, when you have children past the age of 45, like the genetic defects kind of creep in, and this is what you get. You don't actually get fully formed children. You get horrifying and terrifying mutant things. Aimi Isami. Aimi, like, what is this with these names? I don't like any of these names apart from Hina. And then Mu Mew. Did somebody say this is supposed to be Purin from Sundaria? Almost said Cyber Idol then. No, definitely not. If Muyu is Purin, that's the designated lewd tuber. Okay. I mean, Purin, I haven't really watched much of Purin, but Purin's got a damn cute model. I really hope that she doesn't just lose that model, because that's a really cute little model. Hina writes a bit JP using a translator, like, so is that the JP? I have no idea. It's nice that Sakuna is still hiring somebody from JP, I suppose. Already got 736 followers. Who has the most followers right now? 736, 743, 728. Looks like the same people as just following every single account. 781. 751. Yeah, basically everybody's just following the same account. Oh, let me just refresh this, see what's going on. More victims for the mold goddess to groom. I pray for their souls. Try Kiwi Farms, they'll probably have a collective orgasm of the next bunch of screaming edgelords, VT and nonce. Oh dear, somebody does not go on Kiwi Farms very much if that's what they think Kiwi Farms would react to a New Phase Connect thing. Remember, it's been theorized the silhouettes in the background of the Halloween art of Gen 3. I kind of like the one with little wings at the top. Maybe the one with the parchmented scroll, that kind of looks cute. The others I am not really sure of. I do not have any real interest in dragons or anything like that. So let the ratting begin. Warning danger. Silhouettes do match. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you, PCG, for the exploitable do with as you please. Yeah, this is going to get memed to hell. Porian on the job as always. It's also, why do you guys know that one is Porian? It's mere speculation, but our drawing streams have that vibe to them. Literal Nordic iconography, Chinese Canadian neo-Nazi company employing Italian slave labor confirmed. Hey, Panko isn't a slave. Like, she's an animal person. She doesn't have human rights. She can't technically be a slave. Smart of Sakuna to time the debut just before Christmas. More student types will be home on break with plenty of time to watch debut, as now the VTubers will probably be busy doing family stuff or getting ready for Christmas. So the 17th gives them a nice window. I was absolutely astonished by the number of anniversaries that happened last month in, like, November. I like, so many people, there were so many anniversaries just from VTubers I was even vaguely aware of, that they would be back to back, sometimes even multiple on the same day. Why did so many VTubers debut in November? Is November the VTuber month of power, just like October is the month of power for God? I'm not sure. It's very strange. Apparently JP is a very hard market to get into, so Fish has to dump a load of recourse to have a chance. I think you mean another word when you say recourse. Forest of Tabs. Looking forward to seeing which one I consider the love of my life next. John VTuber, You've already got Hexa. You already had Rin Penrose. I need to update your title at some point so that you are no longer not Rin Penrose. You're not Hexa TV. That's going to be your next one. I guarantee it. It's why Chinchilla Raid's phase is so hard, as they're the only people that have gave her a chance till now. Okay, okay. I honestly have no idea about the Chinchilla. Is that the one that super duper shills every now and again? Sorry. I apologize. I've just had dinner, so I'm just a little bit sleepy. It was a very nice dinner. It was a roast dinner because on Sunday we have roast in this family, as God intended. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Anything else? No, not really. It seems like this is definitely going to be an evolving... Oh, there's somebody else replied. Please refrain from prostitution this early. Words mean nothing anymore. Yeah, John VTuber is just a little bit of a prime simp on the forum, I'm afraid. And he's also an unfaithful simp because he has been diving around to different VTubers. Also, sorry, chat isn't on the top window. My apologies. Is it uni in the US ending in making November popular for debuts, or at least time off due to Thanksgiving and such? I have no idea. Sunday roast, how disgustingly English. Hello, I am English. How did you know? Ah, yes, Sunday roast. It was very good. Very, very good. We had, yes, lovely roast potatoes and sweet potatoes too. I really like roasted sweet potato. It's funny, roasted sweet potato was something I used to viscerally despise when I was a child. I really, really hated it. It was disgusting. But now I love sweet potato. I would quite happily eat sweet potato for every meal. Chinchilla is a JP. Pippa wanted for G2 but didn't make it. Okay, all right. I like chinchillas. Chinchillas are extremely cute. They are very squiggly and very adorable. It's funny with rodents. I don't really feel much empathy for rodents overall. It's funny. No, bunnies are not rodents, but bunnies are the same for me. It's funny. So a lot of people like bunny rabbits and so forth, but I don't. There's something about rabbits that I do not like. It's funny because bunny girls are amazing. I love bunny girls. Obviously, I'm a massive Pecora fan and so forth, but sorry, but rabbits I don't like at all. It's funny. I remember one of my friends when I was a child had a great big rabbit, and it got a condition where it would repetitively scratch its face, and it actually almost... Apparently this is a thing that rabbits can do. They can actually tear their own faces off. Like, it managed to dig a gash along the back of its ear, and he told me that if it's allowed to keep doing that, it will actually decapitate itself. It will rip its own face off. Rabbits taste too good for me to entirely empathize with them. Rabbits make weird noises too. Like a screaming rabbit sounds to me too much of a mechanical, unreal noise. It doesn't trigger the sense of empathy in my head. I'm sorry. Maybe that is a sign that I'm actually a psychopath and that but I love animals, like especially birds. You know how much I love birds. I adore birds. And like even the thought of somebody hurting one of my birds is horrifying to me, but like, if you gave me a rabbit and said, here, you need to eat this, I'd be like, okay, there's that rabbit gone. No questions here. I don't care. It doesn't help that they're kind of very good at breeding, so you're always going to have spare rabbits lying around. So yeah, if the only meat that I had access to was rabbits... It's funny, I was saying to myself last night, I am not a vegetarian. I really love meat. But if I had to slaughter my own meat, I would not be eating any beef, any sheep, any lamb rather, any pork. Maybe pork. Maybe I could just about bring myself to slaughter a pig. But yeah, I would not be slaughtering anything that of the meats that I traditionally eat. But rabbits, yeah, I could see myself slaughtering rabbits and eating rabbits. Maybe ducks too, because ducks are terrifying rapists who deserve to be eaten. Rabbits manage to die in the most interesting ways. Yeah, rabbits die very easily and very quickly. And yeah, again, I just don't have... I just cannot really summon up particular empathy for creatures that are so totally easy to die. Congrats, Proc. If Pippa ever, for whatever reason, watches this stream, she will hate you forever. Look, I'm sorry. I have no problem with the idea of somebody keeping pet rabbits or so on, but nah, I'm just saying they do not fire the chemicals in my brain that makes me go, this is an adorable, wonderful thing that should be protected at all costs. It makes me go, this is a weird squeaky thing that will make funny noises if a heavy object lands on it or something. I remember, it's really funny too that I remember watching a documentary about chickens once, and chickens, it turns out, are hunters, and chickens will hunt small rodents. Rabbits literally die from a slight spook, very fragile animals. Yeah, they are. They're very, very fragile, very delicate. But it was really this picture of a chicken just hunting and stalking a mouse, and it grabbed this mouse and it shook it violently from side to side to break its back and its neck, and then it just gobbled it down whole. It was the most terrifying, predatory thing I have seen a chicken ever do in my life. And I also remember that a slightly more tragic incident. There was right next to our chicken run, there is a old stone building that used to be whitewashed, and of course the whitewash has fallen away over the years, and little birds come and nest in the crevices in the whitewash every year. Last year there was some blue tits that nested in the crevices, and the trouble was that when the little blue tits fledged out of the wall, there was a sudden rainstorm, and all the little baby blue tits fell into the chicken run. And of course, all the chickens immediately pounced on them and ate them. They ate them whole immediately the moment they fell into the chicken run. It was a bit disturbing to watch. Yes, nature, there used to be a saying, nature red in tooth and claw, and I believe that. A lot of people say that's not true any longer, but no, nature is ruthless. I've also seen videos of horses eating chicks. That was pretty disturbing as well. Apparently, it's a thing that horses and other hoofed creatures are opportunistic carnivores, that they will quite happily eat meat if it's available to them. They'll eat things like mice and little chicks that they find in the grass and so forth. That was a little bit disturbing too. I don't seek out videos of animals eating each other or anything. I'm not one of those weirdos, but you know, when you live on a farm, you kind of get used to seeing that kind of thing every now and again. And yeah, it can be an interesting education. That was an interesting tangent, wasn't it, lads? Very interesting. Has anything more been posted while I've been rambling on? Also, why do I have a bunch of pings at the moment? Oh, it's just oh dear, just one second. Allow me to send my condolences to somebody who is really sounds quite sick at the moment. Okay, sorry about that. Has anybody else had any fascinating things to say about the new gen? Oh, my rat Saya is Kamiko Kana. Holy crap, Louise is something she often said on stream jokingly. Saya from Saya no Uta is one of her favorite characters. Interesting. Who is this? Let's have a look.
Poggers!
Oh, I recognize this girl. This girl used to be like, it was 2 months ago. See you later. Oh, she graduated. I did not know. See, this was actually one of the first VTubers I think I ever watched. How long ago was this? Yeah, this was years ago, because I found her model extremely cute. I never stuck with her. Like, I moved on to other videos very quickly. VTubers very quickly, that is. But I do remember watching some of her older content, and it was pretty damn cute. She's pretty adorable. If she's reincarnated, then that's cool. That's nice. But yeah, her model is really cute too. She had a very good model back in the day. And of course, I am very attracted to the floof. All of the floof, yes. Please give me more floof. If VTuber has floof, also I realize I am just fiddling around with a pin vise. If you hear any strange squeaky noises in the background, that is not me torturing a mouse. It is me messing around with a little pin vise thing that, there it is, that makes it nice and squeaky. Nice and squeaky noises. A little pin vise that I was using to build my model kits, because I've been building Chinese model kits, and the quality control is not really particularly brilliant. So I have been having to go into the little peg holes and drilling them out a little bit so that the pegs actually fit. Floof, very good, agreed. Yep. Isn't she close to Sheena? I don't know. Former Sundaria, if I remember right. I did not know she was in a corpo, if she ever was. 138k, so she was pulling in pretty solid numbers overall. I like the bells too. The bells are really cute. Another fox. I thought she was a wolf for a while because it didn't look too hard at her. But that's a 30-minute thing. Oh yes, the floof. Does she have any community posts? Got health issues. Okay, okay. A Thrang. What is this Thrang? You found out that Pippa isn't actually 100% white yesterday and are already looking for a new Oshi to jump ship to. Oh no, the racists in my forum are communalizing. That's terrible. That reminds me, I've got an announcement planned for after this stream, by the way. Presumes Twitch accounts are live. Okay. Also, Proctus, please don't slaughter and eat my Oshi. We'll kill you. No promises, no promises. Actually, no, I definitely would not slaughter and eat Pippa. Reticule would never forgive me. And besides, neither would Kirsha either. She wouldn't forgive me, probably. Missed opportunity to pick PC headquarters as a mental assignment of a core building. I would sue. I would absolutely sue Fishman if he stole my idea for a VTuber asylum. Absolutely, would do that immediately. Fishman would be sued. I'm not even joking. 1 second. Reality is that he realizes the girls are too sane and so is spending another month breaking them to be sad. He doesn't want it, but he needs the money because he's known as the CEO of the sad girl company. Maybe. Maybe. Fox, wolf, cat girl, what's even the difference? Excuse me, there is a great deal of difference, Todd. The fox girls are the ones that can grow multiple tails, which automatically makes them superior. Cat girls can only grow 2 tails. That's the Nikomata. They can only have 2 tails. Wolves are an acceptable alternative because, again, wolves have just 1 tail, but it is a very, very fluffy tail. Very, very nice. Yeah, yesterday there was a whole thing about Pippa's ethnic makeup in the Pippa thread. Okay. If the peg don't fit, you must quit. I have no idea. Because her channel is dead and a new model will give her new viewers. Yeah, that's possible. Although, I don't know, it seems like VTuber fan bases are actually surprisingly sticky overall. They seem to be willing to forgive quite a bit more than traditional streamers. Didn't, Pomu have to go on a really long hiatus shortly after she debuted? Because I remember my first exposure to Pomu was her actually responding to like a hater on Twitter or something, where he was saying something like, "Oh, I hate you. You're horrible. You're awful." And you had to take a break. How are you ever going to recover from this, you stupid bitch, or whatever? And she was just something like, she replied like a rent-free thing. More than 1 tail is just getting in the way. You're allowed to be wrong. You are allowed to be wrong, fortunately. I will tolerate wrongthink on my forum, unlike some forums. I actually believe in my principles of free speech, so you, Todd, are allowed to be wrong. However, there is no such thing as too many tails. Like 9 tails is optimal. Anything less than 9 tails on a fox girl is simply suboptimal. They can grow more, okay? The tails must grow. The tails must grow. The tails must grow, they must be floofy, and I must groom them all. All of them. All of the tails. Sorry. I will manage you if I will manage you if people hear me tapping, by the way. uh Sorry, I have somebody DMing me right as I'm streaming. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Discord now. Pipkin being behind the times as usual on the Discord. Yes, Pomu had to have a mastectomy due to having the genetic predisposition for cancer in her family. Ouch, that's really unpleasant, poor woman. I really hope that she doesn't get cancer. Although on the kind of bright side, I suppose, um, I've known several women that had breast cancer, and all of them survived. And I think one of them didn't even have to have a mastectomy. Like, it's a relatively survivable cancer anyway, even if you do get it. Kinda got in hot water for being a B word to people constantly and being very money hungry, and of course having a BF. He later left her for another tuba. Why can't I pronounce that? Wait, why do I have a wrench here but Ryan doesn't? Mostly because Rye is just not particularly active, and I just haven't really noticed him enough to give him the wrench, but I will do so now. My apologies, Rye. And as moderator, standard moderator. There we go. Yeah, he has a life. I'm very sorry. Oh, I have a life and can only show up for short bursts while the kiddo is asleep. Do you only have one child, Rye? Or do you have multiple disgusting sproglins? Are you going to raise them to be VTubers? That's my question. I'm very curious. I wonder, that's actually a fascinating thing. You know, in the end, we are actually, this medium is close to being old enough. No, maybe another 5 or 6 years. This medium is actually going to be old enough that we might actually get like VTuber family channels. Have you thought of that? VTuber family channels where the parents are VTubers and then they bring up the child to be a VTuber as well. Wouldn't that be amazing, guys? Wouldn't you love that? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Yes, that would be fantastic. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Oh no. Can you imagine living through like the kid through a camera, kid behind a camera era, but with VTubers again? Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for those mental images. What am I talking about? I'm not sorry at all. Who is beeping at me? Ah, yes. You laugh like an evil supervillain. Yes, I have experience doing that. Lord, WTF was that laugh? VTuber family, dear God. Yes, I know. It will be wonderful. One kid just over a year old, going to keep them away from the internet as long as possible. IT professional level content moderating, no social media. Kid's going to be a borderline monk. I wholeheartedly approve. When I have children, I am not going to let them anywhere near the internet. They are not going to have they're going to have a dumb phone. And that's about it. And from a very early age, I'm going to teach them exactly what my father taught me, is that when you're on the internet, you do not use the camera, you do not use your real name, you use a pseudonym everywhere you go. I will bring them up to use stuff like Proton Mail and everything like that. You mean if, Proctor? No. I'm going to be taking a leaf out of Kirsch's book and say when, not if. We're going to make it, okay? You're all going to make it. Ryan's Toy Reviews 2099 is just a VTuber family reviewing toy NFTs. I think I've mentioned this in the Discord before, but like I am unironically part of a community where I could get a wife pretty damn easily because I was raised in a religious community that still treats marriage as a sacrament, and pretty much all of the that's the thing. We don't realize that religious communities are almost always comprised more of women than of men. Something like a 70/30 majority of women to men in some places. So if you're religious, you actually genuinely have a pick of the lot if you are in any way attractive. So yeah, but I mean, just my attitude is I am an autistic person who likes anime. I like building model kits. I enjoy very long periods of time alone in the countryside in a shed. I am not kind of the typical husband material for normal women. So I'm not going to try and force a relationship purely for the desire to satisfy any level of physical desire that I have within me. Like, that is not. I have been fortunate enough, well, not fortunate enough, I suppose, but I have seen the results of people who married for convenience, or people who married, shall we say, in the bloom of youth, and all that stuff, and it rarely turns out well. It rarely turns out well. Yeah, but are those women 2D? No, pass. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Also, like, I'm sorry. I think that anime has kind of messed up my perceptions of women just a little bit. A little bit. It'd be fascinating to be like in another 20, 30 years to get children growing up who have had their primary contact of womanhood through VTubers and so on. How is that gonna translate into relationships with physical women? We already have women cosplaying as anime characters and so forth. I want a shed in the middle of nowhere. The shed in the middle of nowhere is the reason that I am the wonderful, sane, and intelligent human being that I am today. Uh, um, I credit my parents immensely for responding to my autism and so on by giving me space to breathe and not doing what the psychologist all said, which was essentially either put me in long-term care or dose me up to the eyeballs on methamphetamines. And I'm sorry, that would have made my life go in a very, very different direction, and it would not be pleasant. Reminder that 100% of all VTubers are mentally ill. Do not let the actions of VTubers make you think that the average woman is as insane as them. I completely disagree, Thrang. I think the average woman is exactly as mentally ill as a VTuber. It's just the VTubers show it more freely and more often. Oh, sorry. Ah! Oh, I actually hate it when this happens. I have a really horrible itch on the inside of my mouth. It happens whenever the weather gets too cold. So one thing I don't like about living in this country is that when it gets cold, it also gets damp, and my body does not like cold and damp. So I constantly feel as if I'm on a very low level of having a cold, but it never develops into anything, which is very irritating. Calling that contact is beyond generous. I mean, that's kind of what I mean, is that we're in a society where people are, I think the buzzword or the phrase is, people are the most connected they've ever been, but also lonelier than they ever have been in the past. And how does the brain adapt to having basically infinite ability to interact with a cartoon woman on a screen, but having next to no physical access to women in the real world? Like, how does that affect your sexuality, your ability to interact with women, and so forth? It's kind of like the Mouse Utopia kind of thing. It's horrifying to witness, but it's kind of fascinating from a purely scientific standpoint. Proctor running the forum from the psych ward. His mother is just the head nurse. Excuse me, no, I am not Q. I am not giving interviews from the psych ward where I went after trying to commit suicide. That is not me. I'm not that much of a woman brain. Psych wards, that's the annoying thing, is that Ireland has gone from having absolutely no support for mentally ill individuals or people with autism to honestly having far too much. This is the problem, that Ireland has far too much to atone for, in that because it was a Catholic country for for centuries, their attitude towards mental illness was, if you have a mentally ill child, that must have meant that your mother slept with the devil. Now, unironically, if you had a mentally disabled child in Ireland before like the 1990s, you were considered to be evil, because their logic was, oh, God must be cursing you for some evil you've done in the past with a disabled child. And so disabled people in Ireland were very much ignored, abandoned, or even outright abused, and in some cases even murdered. I think there was a terrible instances in some parts of the Northern Ireland. It's a very long-running scandal where nurses in various hospitals, if a child with an obvious defect or mental disability was born, without telling the mother or without the mother's consent, they would take the child away and let it die, and then say that it had been stillborn. That is what they would say. And that is pretty indicative of how people felt about mental illness, mental disability, or non-neurotypical behaviors back then. But it's Ireland has gone completely the opposite direction now, and I'll just go back to the regular thing. And it's kind of gone a bit too much of the SJW woke route in that it says, "Oh no, it doesn't matter what mental illness you have, you're still special in your own way," and all of this nonsense. And all of their treatment styles are about making people feel happy, safe, and comfortable. But all of the advantages that I have had in my life are from being pushed outside of my comfort zone by parents who understood that I needed to be challenged in order to reach my full potential. Anyway, let's look back at chat for a second. The average woman is as insane as the average tuber, but at least tubers are funny and charming when they have woman moments TM. Normal women will just throw cutlery at you and blame it on you. I think you're speaking a bit much from the South American perspective there, Haka. I want to be like the cartoon girl, and then they troon out. Yeah, we were watching on Kirscha's channel yesterday how Scott Pilgrim ruined an entire generation of women. I think the most telling line of that stupid parody song is that I think I'd do her anyway or something if I could. I'd do her anyway if I could. And that's kind of the problem, is that women only went like that because they realized they could still get men. That men were desperate enough to settle for that level of inherited BPD and like insanity. Like, men are responsible for the degradation of women because men have not had standards. And that may sound horribly misogynist. I don't care. I stand by it. I stand by that argument. Maybe the average tuba is as crazy as the average Latina. Yeah, that's entirely possible too. That is entirely possible. It's funny, I have never talked to a Latina woman who was not 100% nice. I have had good experiences with every single one of the Latina women that I have spoken to. And yet every Latina man tells me, stay as far away from Latina women as physically possible. They are terrifying, they are nightmarish, and if you annoy one, your life is essentially over from that moment onwards. And I feel it's probably a bit like the Chinese, in that the Chinese women are apparently fairly the same, is that Chinese women can be absolutely wonderful and lovely, but Chinese women are so, because of their massive, massive gender imbalance in China, if a Chinese woman thinks she has even the tiniest bit of hope getting you as a husband, then if you break off the relationship, then she will break into your house and pour bleach over all your stuff, and she will harass you and be vengeful towards you for years afterwards. That is the story that I've heard anyway. I do not claim that it is factually accurate. Maybe it's changed in the past few years. I don't know. What with the one-child policy being removed and everything. I mean, really, I can't blame women in a lot of cases. South American women won't throw cutlery at you. They will tell their brothers, cousins, / cousins to beat you up. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I have sympathy for a lot of women because, you know, the biological imperatives and everything. Like, a man can afford to wait. A man can afford to wait to have children a hell of a lot longer than a woman can. Have you ever had to interact with them for any extended period of time? That might be why you just never got to see the mask fall off. Yeah, that's possible. It's possible. Same with most of C. I do remember the case of the Ukrainian refugees that came over to Ireland. Maybe I've told this story before. I'm not sure. But when the whole Ukraine-Russia war kicked off, there was a huge number of Ukrainian women that came over to Ireland, and they were put up in like refugee shelters in Ireland and so forth. And a lot of relief efforts were organized to help them. And there was this story that was reported on quite openly. Well, not openly, in like communally, not on the news level, because the news would never say anything bad about the adorable, wonderful, charming migrant people. But there was a whole bunch of because Irish people are very charitable. Irish people are extremely charitable and are extremely friendly. Irish people will go out of their way to help you. That's why another reason why I really like Ireland. But so Irish people, when they heard that these Ukrainian women were arriving in large numbers and had nothing but the clothes on their back, They got together a great big charity event where they donated old clothes to these Ukrainian women, and these were really good quality clothes. Oh, another thing I like about Ireland is that the Irish don't really understand the idea of formal dress very much. And so you can go around to charity shops and you can get stuff like 500 euro suits for like 10 euro because somebody bought them for a like an event such as a marriage or something, and they just immediately gave them to charity because they will never wear suits at any other time in their life unless they're a high up professional business person or somebody who is like a member of the local council of government. So I've got some really, really expensive and valuable pieces of clothing that is completely brand new, maybe been worn once, and that is just in a charity shop somewhere collecting dust. It's a great place to go thrifting, is Ireland. But yeah, anyway, so they donated a whole bunch of these really good clothes to these women in the Ukrainian women's shelter. And then they discovered that the Ukrainian women from the city had gone through all of this great big bundle of clothes and they had thrown in the trash every piece of clothing that was not from a brand. So any shoes that weren't like Nike or whatever, they threw out. Any clothes that were from a brand they didn't like, they threw out. They would only wear branded clothes, and they would only wear things like designer jeans and so forth. And that dissolved an awful lot of the goodwill people had towards these Ukrainians very, very quickly. Now, I will say the difference is that the Ukrainian women that were from the Ukrainian countryside are wonderful people. We actually still know quite a few of them, and they are lovely people. And they have when they have children, their children are always conscientious. Their children are always polite. Their children are always respectful. Their children learn English very fast and are very dedicated. And all of them have gotten local jobs already to support their parents. And even their parents are working too. And like, you'd have these old Ukrainian grandmothers from the countryside. And when people took them into their homes, these grandmothers would refuse to let anyone cook for them. If you brought a Ukrainian refugee from the countryside into your house, you weren't cooking from that night onwards. They would do the housework for you out of simple gratitude for you taking them in. Like, they were wonderful people. And it's a real shame that some of them have gone back or been moved to other places because those women were really well liked in the community. The ones from the city, a bunch of prima donnas that everybody hated. So yeah, I don't live in a city. Do not bring your kids up in a city if you can at all alter their fate or direction. Todd's folly. Sorry, let me catch up in chat for a second. I know a few Mexicans, including some women. The one woman I was in most contact with was always very nice to me, but witnessing how she acted when rebuffed by a friend of mine that she was fond of, it's been like 5 years and he still gets occasional harassment from her. Proctor doing the Republican bit. Yeah. I mean, I'm not political, but I'm sorry. We were not meant to live in cities. We were not meant to live in cities. Look at what happened to Babel. Look at what happened to Ur, and look at what happened to Babel. Both were destroyed. We were not meant to live in cities. Rural living. Rural, self-sufficient living. I mean, that's not really Republican. That's more like libertarian, I suppose, if you had to put a political ideology on it. But yeah, city people suck in every continent. T, city friend. I mean, I'm not saying that if you're in a city, you are automatically a bad person. I'm saying if you are born, braised... I am an English person. I speak with a quality dictation. If you are born and raised in a city, I'm sorry, you're going to be at a disadvantage compared to somebody that has been able to develop in the countryside. Pretty sure Babel is fake. We're not going into that. This is not a religious stream. Speaking of what this stream is actually supposed to be about, I don't have any water with me. Let me just reach across and grab an apple. Actually, let me just look through this thread one more second. Just 1 second. I need to just grab an apple because I don't have water at hand. Ow. Ow, my arm. I've been doing some more exercise as well. This is the first week in the last like 6 or 7 that I have done any real exercise because COVID just completely destroyed my exercise routine. And I'm surprised at how much I can already do again. took like 2 or 3 days for me to get back into any semblance of a routine for it. But now I feel much, much better than I did. I really want to exercise again. And I like it also because when it's cold, I don't like exercising when it's warm because I sweat a lot. I hate being born braised. I prefer being sauteed. I'm not a city boy either. That's good, Porian. That's good. We'll survive a lot better than the city people when the end comes. Ah. Wasn't there a survey done in America that showed that a very large number of youths thought that chocolate milk came from brown cows? Also, I think that but I remember even earlier, there was even like in the 1990s, I remember reading it in some old paper article that most American school children thought that a chicken had 4 legs, and they thought that it had 4 legs because packs of drumsticks came in 4. Mm. Ooh, that's a really good apple. Mm. Did I miss the new Sad Girl Company talk? Yeah, you did a bit, I'm afraid. Although I will just go back to the thread and have a look through, see if there's any other interesting comments. Just 1 second. Here we go. Yes, Sundaria was the original Sad Girl Company. Lamau. Hello, Nolan. How are you? I was expecting a KFC reference. There was a meme here about strawberry milk. I have not heard the meme about strawberry milk. Please feel free to share. Oh, that's nice. Oh, this is a nice apple. I don't know why, but cold apples. This is one of my weird autism things. I hate warm apples. I want my apples to be as cold as possible. When I was much younger, it would be to the point that I would actually put apples in the fridge or even the freezer and let them nearly get frozen before I ate them. I think I nearly broke my teeth on one once, and that is what put me off trying to freeze them. But yeah, I really like cold fruit. Like as cold a fruit as possible, I find massively increases the taste of it to me. Olives are the same. I love olives, but I much prefer my olives if they've been in the fridge first. Another thing that I really like is a hot toast with cold tuna. The local shop does really really nice line caught albacore tuna in olive oil, and that's delicious. So I like to have a really cold tuna with hot toast and butter, homemade toast and butter. Oh, that's lovely. You're learning a lot about me today. I broke a back tooth on an Easter. How on earth did you manage to break your egg? Break your tooth on an Easter egg. Cold apple has a sharper taste, I find. I get it. What kind of apple you got? Let me just have a look. What kind of apples are these? Because, my mother bought these, and she sometimes buys different varieties for me. These are... They look like a bit of a foreign company, actually. These are called Zingy apples, like Zingy. So I have no idea what variety they are. They're quite good. Like it is a little bit sharp, but it's fairly sweet too, and it's nice and crunchy. I like crunchy apples. Really like crunchy apples. Can I get a crunch on the camera? Mm. Oh, yeah. That's very good. Mm. Oh, excuse me. Mm. Fishman played Idle Manager. I should play Idle Manager. I've heard a lot about it, but I've never actually played it. I'll have to look what it costs. Because I don't really like buying games, because I grew up in a not particularly prosperous household, so I was a torrenting boy for a very long time. Then GOG came around, and I bought pretty much all the games that I used to torrent for like €2 a pop during sales. So that was great. I got like 300 games on GOG. Yeah, I got a ton of old games that I should play, most of which are very, very incompatible with OBS. That's really annoying. Let me just send a message to somebody. Book more afterwards. If you're still around. Wait, did I just say no? That's weird. Oh dear. Zingy apples are called Zingy. That's the breed. It's French. Okay, I'm eating French apples. All right. Bet he's a red delicious guy. I'm a Pink Lady fan. Pink ladies are really nice. They can be a bit hit or miss. Some batches of Pink Lady have been so delicious. I have happily eaten 4 in one sitting. Others can be a bit sharper, I find. So yeah. Sometimes they're wonderful. Other times they are surprisingly tart and sharp, which I don't like. I very much like sweet apples. Sweet and crunchy makes a good apple for me. Ah. FaZe merely adopted the sad girl moniker. Sundaria was born in it, molded by it. They didn't feel happiness until the company collapsed. Yeah, it's a shame. I think the collapse of Sundaria is another thing that I'd like to study sometime, and maybe do maybe not an entire stream on it, but a small stream. Presume Twitch accounts are live too. Gluten Paladin, I hate you, but that's funny. Also, you messed up the meme, you idiot. Oh, dear. I've been corrupted. I find these jokes funny. Dizzy is still unhappy because of Sundaria, and it's been nearly a year since it shut down. This one also used Gen 2 as a building crew. Yeah, I remember was Pippa talking to Kirsche about Minecraft? I'm not sure. It was somebody. I'm annoyed I can't remember. It was Henya. It was Henya on their Pippa's Henya collab. In that Henya was asking about her Minecraft experience, and Pippa just said, yeah, FaZe Connect server is dead because Sakuna tried to get us to build a whole load of stuff for an event, and we were just like, nah, we're not gonna. FaZe gets Sundaria, Idol gets Cyberlife, who will win out in the end? I'm betting on the Jews, honestly. I'm sorry. I bet on the Jews. Where's the merch? Yeah, here's the thing. I think that Sakuna's downfall is the whole shipping thing. I've tried. I actually have a few like keychain. Is it? No, it's acrylic standees. The acrylic standees that I got from FaZe Connect, all of them were at least slightly scratched. Like, it doesn't matter to me, but I think I could have legitimately charged them back because the standees that I got were scratched. And like I work with plastic models a lot, so I can polish completely scratched acrylic and plastic stuff to a mirror shine. I've got microfiber polishing cloths that go up to something like 20,000 grit. So I remember I once polished a piece of plastic so fine it was actually transparent despite being about a millimeter thick. I was really impressed by it. I went through this period of polishing everything, and it was really funny because it looked weird because my thumbnail I once accidentally polished my thumbnail to the point where it had this weird mirror shine, and it was really strange for a while. For about a week or two, it looked as if I had been doing my nails or something because I had been using a microfiber cloth so much on little, very small plastic pieces that my thumbnail on my left hand was actually so reflective from all the polishing that I could see my own face in it. It was like a mirror shine. You should have charged back, never accept damaged goods except tubers. Oh yeah, you should just contact Fish. This was years ago, like back when he did his very first merch run, and my attitude back then was, like, it's minor scratching, it's not serious, I don't care all that much. It's in a box because, yeah, while I live with my parents, I am not going to be showing merch of cute anime girls where my parents can see and judge them because I still have some standards in my life and some dignity. Once again, the chat is completely desynced and I'm looking at 2 different versions of it. I refuse to get FaZe merch knowing that it'll take like a year until you get it. I only bought merch for a Twitch indie I watched because they effed me over, so I gave them to someone else who watched. The problem is Canada. He talked about getting a warehouse in America, but I don't know what came of it. Yeah, another thing is that I'm very annoyed I can't buy stuff like Kirsch's merch because that's in America, and the shipping costs to Europe are even more than the merch itself, which is a bit annoying. I'm just glad they're selling more things. I know someone who got a scratched Leah standee, and this was a FaZe Connect con attendant sale, not through the FaZe Shop Workshop. Yeah, it's just from my experience with plastic modeling, it's really hit or miss. The quality of the mold is absolutely essential. The Japanese use god-tier molds, where I think the mold defects in Japanese model kits are so rare that if you get a model kit with a single mold defect in like 500 parts, then you've just found a collector's item, because that is so rare that people will now pay extra for a Japanese kit that actually has a mold defect in it. Whereas I also buy stuff from China, and that's a hell of a lot more hit and miss. They also told me pre-production is in the works too. I know a guy who buys a lot of merch, definitely confirmed the warehouse thing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I would buy more physical merch, but also the fact is that my housing situation is still not particularly certain. I have until March to for things to be concrete, but that's a whole other story in of itself. Yeah, well, all their merch is made in China. That's what people said. Yeah, the Chinese, you get what you pay for, very much. I can tolerate. That's the funny thing, is that I'm building a Chinese model kit right now, and it's the one that I talked about earlier, where I have to use a pin vise to open up some of the peg holes on it. But what the kit comes with, it actually has a bunch of like little refrigerator magnets that came in with it, and crinkly, because they're in little bags, and they're really cute. They're absolutely adorable. And this it came with also with like 2 different color separated runners of the same parts, so I can customize the color of this model kit with incredible detail, and it's even got pre-painted gold parts with undergated runners, and I really like it. But again, for all that, I need to use a pin vise to open up the peg holes because they are too small and the tolerances are too high. So if I didn't have that, I would have to crush things together so hard that I would never be able to get them apart again. You sometimes get what you pay for. Very often you get less than what you thought you were paying for. I mean, yeah, that's true as well. That's true as well. Let the buyer beware is very much a maxim that operates in China. I should do a dramatic reading of the 4chan green tech story about Chinese manufacture at some point, because that's pretty legendary. I've got an entire book called Poorly Made in China that I intend to read, but I can never get time to do it, where I really like, but I really like it where it goes through all of the different reasons why Chinese manufacturing is so terrible. And also on the Matrix server, I linked a Serpent ZA video about the Chinese manufacturing standards, and not the Chinese manufacturing, the Chinese safety standards. And it's got a whole bunch of videos of people like hanging from single ropes to do things like air conditioning maintenance and so on, and the level of disregard they have for their own lives and their own safety is unbelievable. It tipped me off because in Kirsch's Discord they posted a video of a Chinese person on the back who is transporting pressurized nitric acid. The green text about steel manufacturing, yeah, that one. But yeah, this Chinese trucker is transporting a nitric acid, and his truck springs a small leak at the top, and it is starting to give off nitric acid fumes from a reaction. If you know anything about nitric acid, you know you run away from that stuff. You run away very fast. Like, what he should have done is back up the place into an isolated area, because, again, the nitric acid was slowly leaking out, but it wasn't a major leak. And then he should have run. Do I have I'll post the video in the Discord. Actually, I'll post it here because it's just a different channel. And no, I don't think Serpent ZA actually shows the full clip. But yeah, so the Chinese guy, he pulls up at us at a crossroads. He stops at a light. He realizes that he's leaking nitric acid. And so he gets out of his truck. He slowly walks around to the back of the truck And like a large yellow cloud of fumes is now developing over the area from this leaking nitric acid, which is under massive pressure, by the way. Also, the video of the guy getting rolled around the lathe. I have not seen that. But yeah, so this Chinese guy, he thinks to himself, you can tell he's thinking in the video for a second, and then he climbs up on the back of this pressurized truck. And he leans over this nitric acid fume leak, and he starts fiddling around. And then he gets vaporized because he triggers some kind of valve or something that releases the pressure on the tank, and he is hit full in the not full in the face, full in the body by this high pressure wave of nitric acid that is moving at about, I would say, 40-50 miles an hour. There is nothing left of him within a second. He dies instantaneously, and the nitric acid goes on to cause a major chemical spill in the area, and that was all caught on video by somebody who was in the car behind. Oh, that was, I mean, it was so excessive that you didn't even need to censor it. Like, there's no gore or anything. This man is vaporized instantaneously by this wave of pressurized nitric acid. So, I mean, hey, he dies quickly. But it's just like, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? You are transporting lethally dangerous acidic compounds. Do not climb up on your truck and fiddle around with them. But yeah, I have unfortunately not seen the one about the industrial lathe. I can only imagine how horrifying that is. Ooh. Ugh. Just having another bite of my apple. Also, the merch for the Twitch indie that burned me only took like 2 weeks to come from them in Canada, UK, and they had ways to make the postage decently cheap, unlike Phase Connect. Yeah. Man sublimated live on camera. Yeah. There was nothing left of him. Absolutely nothing left of him. That's the strange thing. I can get postage from China for like $10. And I mean big postage, like a kit that is larger than a master grade. Because that's the nice thing about the Chinese kits is, as I said, they come with a whole ton of option parts and everything, so they come in big boxes. Really big boxes. But the Chinese will ship them to you for €10. So, and they're pretty cheap too. Like, even like the Chinese prices are far lower than the Japanese prices, and I'm willing to accept a few potential manufacturing defects and tight fits for that. So I can get $40 or $50 kits that have like 200 extra parts and are just as high quality in terms of look as a Japanese Bandai kit. And I can get those for €10 shipping, whereas shipping from Japan is about €15 minimum. If I put it in the Matrix, then you will find out who my TVA account is. Someone already joined the dots in a Discord. I was and asked me if I was them. That's why you use different names everywhere you go. Chinese just don't give an F, man. Why does that? Okay, why does that comment show up? Oh, I have given up trying to divine what these chat things mean. Let me just refresh one more time, see if anybody else commented. But I only got that far. Okay, this is Kestraline seeing. Well, at least Fishman finally got her if true. Strange she wouldn't just join other invaders since everyone knows how much Fish pined for her. Beryl in PC has been a likely thing for a long time, and Fishman did say there are JP speakers in Gen 3. I don't know who Beryl is. The current phase, LOL Revival, is just a way for Fishman to grind down their sanity for the debuts. LOL hate, lol hate. Then we confirmed it was a teaser timestamped 1:37:37, so we know that was a teaser. That makes sense. Oh dear. Like the idea of the dog saying she was going on hiatus for medical reasons only as a cover for reincarnation. She did have an actual medical reason. Going, oh dear, that's nasty. Nasty. Did you guys notice they enhanced my rendition of the Phase Connect office? Oh. Oh dear. Not confirmed until we've She really needs to get a win once in a while, so I'm really hopeful for this one. Honestly, I wouldn't say that getting into Face Connect is a win necessarily in this day and age. I mean, put it this way, I'll be honest. If I wanted to get into a company, I'd get into flipping Idle. If Idle is doing a male generation anytime soon, I'm going to... I'm going to apply. I'm going to apply. If Idle is doing a male generation, I'm going to apply. I'm giving you that. I'm telling you that now. You might hear a weird British reedy voice in the next, if Idle ever does a male generation. I'm going to go straight to Avil and say, look, I don't like you. You're not going to have me endorse the Israeli invasion of Palestine. But you know what? I'll take your gold. It's just as good as any other gold. Mm. Mm. Idle at least funds audio equipment so you don't sound like a new Nishi Sanji debut. Oh. You would think that Nishi Sanji would at least make debuts good. I think Avil has better sense than that. I don't know, Avil's an interesting guy. I think I can deal with him. I mean, I'd love to. I can't really go into detail, but I will say for that I now know for a fact that Idle has been going absurdly out of its way to be nice to VTubers that are not part of their company. To the point where some people have said that they are now jaded about dealing with other companies after the level of generosity that Idle displayed to them, and the level of help they were willing to give them as completely unrelated people, not even connected to Idle or anything. It's worth noting that one of the first collabs I clipped with Irie was Kamiko, Kana, and Purin. Oh, that's interesting. Available to filter. Me, on the other hand, if you've got an offer for me, Todd, I'm always willing to listen. I will even tolerate a Canadian sometimes. Check the Discord, you coward. Allow me to turn off my desktop audio, because I am not playing. I mean, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play it on stream because it's literally just a clip of what I just said. You know what? I'm going to pin that. Pin message. There we go. Gen 2 of Idle EN was insanely well connected. Probably helps with PR. Yeah. Like, again, from what I have now learned about Idle, I can very safely say that I think they are a positive impact on the industry and will continue to be a positive impact on the industry. Like, in all seriousness, the advantage of the Jewish connection is that they know how to do business. And when I say do business, I mean in the way that accounts for human resources as well. Is that they know how to get their money's worth and also make connections. Because, put it this way, you are not part of a historically oppressed group, and you do not consistently rise to the top economic bracket of every nation you are part of unless you actually have good business sense. And I'm always going to respect that, all right? I've been called, it's astonishing to me, I have been called anti-Semitic to my face for saying something like, the Jews have good business sense, and that is demented to me. Like, that's legitimately a compliment. Like, an anti-Semite would say something like, oh, the Jews are part of an ancient evil cabal, and it's all insane luck. They are all stupid and foolish, so there's no way they would ever get anywhere without massive amounts of nepotism and so on. No, the Jews have their own education system which sets up their people for success. And that is just factually correct. Look at Jewish schools in places like America and so on. They give their children good education. They give their children such good education that the American Education Association has actually tried to close Jewish schools multiple times in the past because their standards were far higher than any of the nearby American schools, and they considered that a form of discrimination. That is that's something that that Thomas Sowell in his books points out a great deal, that like the whole American education system, diversity and so on, that really knocked down the American education system because, like, while segregation was still a thing, students in black only schools were very highly academically accomplished. But the moment they added diversity, it meant that not only were all white schools required to take in black students, but all black schools were required to take in white students. And what happens when you get an all black school which has been paid for by relatively affluent members of the black community? And they are now, but they're located in the city, and they're suddenly required to take in a whole bunch of inner city white trash. Yeah, all those grades, they don't exist any longer. Now those schools are among the lowest of the bunch in the entire nation, and they used to be before segregation. Before segregation ended, the highest in the entire school, far outstripping white schools in the same neighborhoods. They sure have a nose for business. Shut up, Orion. Stop trying to catch me out. Hmm. Oh dear. I've been rambling on far too long. I apologize. I just enjoy talking to you people for some insane reason. Sheena murders one of her co-highs less than 2 hours after the debut teaser. Thanks. Oh yeah, I already read this. Oh dear. I suppose we should actually do something for a change. And my voice is starting to get a tiny bit strained. Proctor, you should move to the US. Fox News could use a British host. Like, I just have. Actually, that's another thing. Here we go, another tangent. That I watch Glenn Greenwald an awful lot, and I really like Glenn Greenwald because he very much criticizes both the left and the right. He's not an objective journalist by any means, and I actually genuinely think that the idea of a objective journalist is myth and fantasy. Sorry. But he's been railing against the right in the past few videos after a very long string of attacks on the left. Well, not attacks, because he's literally spitting facts. Where he points out that the right is now cheering for censorship in exactly the same way the left was only a few months ago. It's just that the right is like, oh no, censorship is bad, except when we're censoring anti-Semitic comments on the internet. That's when it's perfectly okay for us to demand that everybody post under their actual name online, and we need to remove all anonymity online so we can tell where all the racist anti-Semites are. And Glenn has just been like, you've spent the last 2 or 3 years being angry at the leftists for censoring you on every platform. You can't just turn around and say, actually, censorship is good when we do it. You can't just say that Jewish people have a racial affinity for business. It's not racial, it's cultural. Like, I'm not saying that Jews are genetically predisposed towards having good business. No, just look at Jewish demographics. Like, there were plenty of Russian Jews that weren't business orientated or anything. But the fact is that the Jews are the first culture on earth to have had an organized reading tradition for their entire nation. That the Jews in the Mosaic Law were all expected to be fully literate and able to write their own copies of the Mosaic Law. So that means that every Jewish family, from the king to the lowliest peasant, were literate in a time when literacy was reserved for people who worked in temples. That for the Jews would have been at best 95% literate throughout their entire nation, whereas the surrounding nations would probably be less than 1% literate. And literacy is the basis for all advancements in all. It's how you record knowledge. It's how you pass on information. So look at that culturally. That just translates to a consistent advantage down to the modern era. And again, it's nothing to do with race. It's nothing to do with politics. It is simple, factual information. If you have an advantage and you pass it down, then you're going to keep it. It's that simple. If you go, oh no, that's racist and that's evil, we can't do that, then guess what? You're going to lose it. And I'm very sorry if you consider that to be a valid way of doing things. Although in brief, I suppose you could say ultimately there is nothing more racist than success. Ah. Mm. Okay, good grief, I've already been live an hour. Okay, I'm going to move away from my Kamiyoshi and actually play a game within an hour. Well, no, it's been an hour and 10 minutes, so less than that, so more than an hour. Let me see if this actually works. Proctor, wasn't there a game you were going to play? Yes, I was going to play a game. I'm sorry. And I need to play the game because my throat's starting to get rough. We are first of all going to play the game of making sure the audio is properly balanced. So let me just... Right, there we go. Oh, sorry. Oh dear, I hate that. I hate it when I belch like that. I'm going to now tab into the game. Actually, just 1 second. I just realized if I am in the game right now, I cannot actually look at the chat. So you will have to give me 2 seconds to set up my laptop, which is right beside me and which I completely forgot about right until now. Here we go. Technical difficulties, please stand by. Oh, no, that's already on. Okay. I have to type in my password. And then nope. Who? No. I hate this keyboard. Oh, for goodness sake, I can't do it in this position. 1 second. And there. That's what happens when I use very difficult, complicated passwords. Oh. Okay, I've set things up. There we go. Better start the game. This is getting dangerously philosemitic. I do not actually know what philosemitic is. Let me actually look that up. I have not heard that term before. Congratulations. You have accomplished the rare feat of giving me a word that I have not seen before. Oh, arose as a pejorative in Germany to describe the positive prejudice towards Jews. In other words, a philosemite is a Jew lover or Jew friend. I love what's this image? What the heck's this? Modern Philosemitism in the Dark Ages. WSJ. What is this? Modern Philosemitism in the Dark Ages. Walter Scott's Ivanhoe, though set in the 12th century, is surprisingly resonant today with its sympathy for the oppressed and hope for today's society to overcome trying times. Oh, that's interesting. What's this? Now, what is this? What be this? The Wall Street Journal, so... Oh, I can't actually read it without... Oh, that's annoying. I wanted to have a look at this. Oh, well, maybe the next time. All right, let's go back to what we were doing. So yeah, I'm gonna turn the volume up, and please tell me if it's too loud.
Friends and neighbors.
Is that loud enough, chat, or is it too quiet?
Now you start to see it. The people never happy. It's never enough.
I'm at the risk of learning something, but I start the game before I develop opinions. I have seriously wondered if I should just start commenting about. I really like using. Well, I don't like using. The Kiwi Farms news and events place. I like that because it gives a pretty broad spectrum of articles from stuff.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
What? He tries to leave, but they keep pulling him back in.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines tonight.
But yeah, is the audio levels okay? Somebody say if it's too loud or too quiet.
Well, that's a very blunt
Master at 15,
question.
maybe?
Advance is lying to you.
Go 18.
Friends and neighbours, and have confidence that the team will keep you safe.
But now you start to see, yes? The people never happy. It's never enough.
That's about not enough for me anyway. I'm actually going to go down to easy because it's difficult to comment when advanced settings, interface, snuggle hugs. Okay. Apply changes. Yes, I'm a filthy casual, but I'm genuinely interested in the story of this game, so I don't want to be too stressed out, and I don't want to have to replay sections too much because that very quickly becomes a drag.
Good evening. I'm
Campaign.
And I'm Jeremy Jones. Our main
Day
headlines
15, a
tonight.
late night. Wait, day 15? 15, 18 sounds fine. Okay. Day 8. Just 1 second. Oh, great. Let me just blow my nose before we start. Yeah, just mute myself. You don't get the nose cummies. There we go. Thank you for your patience. And my nose has just popped. You arrive home after another long shift to find a note waiting for you on the countertop. You recognize Sam's hurried scrawl. Chris has been evicted for not paying rent. As I recall, Chris was was Sam's brother who asked us for our passport in part 1. Sam's gone to pick up Chris's stuff from the street. Don't wait up. Underlined twice. So, this is your fault now, is it? You sulkily press play on the cheap horror film you were going to watch together. It used to absolutely terrify you as a kid, but always makes the two of you laugh. It's not the same without Sam, but you still chuckle to yourself occasionally. That's a bit weird. Just as you get to the good bit, the part where Candy decides to investigate alone, your 14-year-old son interrupts. He wants to go to a friend's house. He looks at you in the way only a child can, pleading but somehow defiant. You let him go as long as he promises to be home by 11. You tell Charlie no, he knows he's not allowed out this late on a school night. I have a very strong feeling that if I tell this child no, he will go anyway. On the other hand, it's kind of implied that Britain is in a sort of fascist or maybe arch-left kind of dictatorship at the moment, almost. So I'm not sure. As I see it, there are no good options here. If I let him go, he's probably going to get his head smashed in and culturally enriched by some wonderful people of color. If I tell him no, he's going to hate me forever and probably sneak out the back and get culturally enriched in a whole different way. I am going to be the nice father here. Wait, what? There we go. Clearly surprised, he practically races out the door. You doze in front of the movie, waiting up for his return. You start to wake at the sound of TV static. It's gone midnight, and there's no sign of Charlie or Sam. Why is the audio gone? I'm not sure. It's a school night, and he promised, so you go over there to march him home. You're tired and in a bad mood. You trust Charlie, he'll be home soon. No, I'm a responsible enough father to make sure that my child is safe. Arriving at the friend's house, you find your son, who miraculously notices the time when he sees you. He may think you were born yesterday, but at least he apologizes. That's something. You recognize that cheeky, mischievous look. You can't help but let him off this time. I feel like this might be setting a bad precedent, but okay. Day 15. Let me just check my audio stuff. Shouldn't there be sound here? Okay, apparently not. The game is not making any sound whatsoever. You can't help but crack a smile as you look around the table. Around the table, okay. That's a pretty egregious spelling mistake. The snow has settled on the grass outside. The kids are pulling a cracker while your elderly mother tries to keep her eyes open. You always did have a soft spot for Christmas. You're sitting at the head of the table now, your dad's place. It's been a tense afternoon. Everyone can feel it. It's the first time you've seen Chris since you refused to part with your passport. It's a big change for Sam. The two siblings used to be inseparable. Christmas is usually such a nice time of year. The clatter of cutlery is all that can be heard as Chris stares pointedly at you. Are you having a nice Christmas, Grandma? You make a toast. You stay silent. I don't like Chris at all. He tried to ask for my passport, and I'm sorry, I was never going to do that. Your mother stares vacantly at you, confused. She comes back to herself with a start of recognition. Yes, thank you, Alex. It's lovely, she murmurs. It's been happening more and more lately. I know that. The clatter of cutlery is all that can be heard as Chris... Oh, it's doing it again. You make a toast. You stand and raise your glass. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm glad we're all here. There are murmurs of cheers and much clinking of glasses. Chris doesn't move. Yeah, we're all here. No thanks to you. Chris, sighs Sam. Come on now, it's Christmas. Can't we put this behind us? I'm going to try and be the better person here, because again, I don't like him, but I still think that you have an obligation to be nice to relatives, even if they ask very stupid things of you. Sam's right. Let's try and enjoy ourselves. Chris turns away from you, taking some frustration out on a cheap cut of roast chicken. Your daughter Susie seizes the opportunity to corner you. You know how you love me? You chuckle. This sounds familiar. I'm not going to like this, am I? You joke. Susie rolls her eyes. You know me and my friends are planning on going traveling this year, Susie begins innocently. Well, I was hoping you'd help me with the money. She's interrupted by Chris, who gives a derisive snort. I wouldn't hold your breath, Susie. Not known for your generosity, are you, Alex? Oh, this man. Oh, this man. I don't like this man. I really don't like this man. I'm going to do my best to be a nice person. Ignoring Chris, you smile at your daughter. We'll see so many parts of the world and learn so much about other cultures, Susie gushes. You sigh and lower your voice. You know money is really tight now that Grandma's staying here. We just don't have that kind of money, Susie. But please, Harriet's parents are helping her. I'm sorry. I wish we could afford it, but we can't. What? You promised! Your daughter yells. She looks from the face of one parent to the other and opens her mouth to speak. Instead, she lets out a frustrated shriek and buries her head in her hands. Chris starts to... If there's a dialogue option that lets me punch this bastard, I will. And the Parent of the Year award goes to... Chris starts a sarcastic drum roll on the table. If there is an option that lets me kill this man, I'm going to take it. Pay no attention, Susie, Chris goes on. Alex has no time for their family, isn't that right? You can't bring yourself to speak. Pathetic. Chris puts an arm around Susie and escorts her out of the room. Sam follows without meeting your gaze. Oh. Charlie excuses himself awkwardly as you start to clear the plates in silence. Have you had a nice birthday, Pat? Your mother chimes in cheerfully. Merry fucking Christmas. And I got an achievement for that. Maybe next year, don't pay for your daughter to go on holiday. Carve the Christmas, Chris. Yeah, that guy is an asshole. A real asshole. If somebody was like that to me during... I try my best to embody the scriptural commandment, be peaceable with all men. I fail on many occasions, but in a case like that, with a guy like Chris, he's not getting invited next Christmas. Definitely not. You're leafing through a pile of accumulated post. Each new bill pulls on your gut like a lead weight until a flash of blue makes you pause. Recognizing the teal Advance logo on the envelope, you tear it open. Dear Winston residents, thank you for sending us your passports for approval. We can now confirm the receipt and validation for the new Assets and Wealth Redemption Scheme. Hopefully this will make the last month of arguments with Sam worth it. As such, it's our pleasure to enclose a check, which we hope you will see as a symbol not only of our gratitude to you, but of our unwavering commitment to creating a society free of inequality. The throbbing of your fresh, speed-induced paper cut. The throbbing of your fresh, speed-induced paper cut is the only reason you can believe you're awake. A check! And a sizable one at that! Quist was right. Advance really are redistributing wealth. This will bode poorly, I think. We will continue to strive for the betterment of this nation and its people. Forwards together, Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. The weight of your financial burdens lessens slightly. It's bliss. Let's see, day 63. Day 72. Oh, so we're advancing quite quickly. That's weird. Would have thought we would have gotten more actual gameplay now, but I mean, I like this. This is interestingly written. Why does the zip on this damn case never close? It's your anniversary. Every year, you and Sam go away for the weekend, usually camping. You're not made of money. You've been looking forward to it for ages, finally getting some time alone together where you can forget about the noise of life. No kids, no work, just a bit of romance and some peace and quiet. The zip finally gives up the battle, and you drag the bulging suitcase down the stairs. I really hate suitcases. I have never been able to pack a suitcase in my entire life. I don't know what it is about women. Women are gifted with certain skills that men simply do not possess, and chief among them is suitcase packing. The answering machine is blinking on the table. Good evening, Alex. This is Mr. Bozeman. I'm calling to inform you that you will be required to work this weekend. Oh boy, free money. That's never sparked off terrible family infighting. Yeah, it's honestly more the economic nonsense about it. This feels like a kind of universal basic income thing that is very Keynesian in its genesis, and as such, I must hate it with all my soul. Some information has come to light concerning the rising tensions between our nation and foreign powers, and the National Nightly News Team, NNN, will be working around the clock to ensure we break the story first. Needless to say, I will expect your attendance tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Have a pleasant evening, Alex. Shock turns to annoyance and then fury. What are you going to tell Sam? Sam comes downstairs, brimming with excitement. Kissing you, they grab the car keys from the dish and start to load your bags into the back. Ignore the message you need this weekend. Apologize profusely to your spouse, but you really should go into work. Bozeman's temper is legendary. This is a really hard one. Notices your bulging suitcase, uwu. This is a real... I feel for this guy. Like, this game is comedic, but it does a pretty damn good job of capturing the really nasty ways that the world chews you up and spits you out. I very strongly feel like going towards ignore the message you need this weekend. I'm going to go with that. I want to be a good father. I can't help but notice also that for all that I like this game, it does do this weird thing where it's calling Sam they. So I'm When I first heard the name Sam, I thought it would have been a gay relationship, but evidently not, because they have children unless they adopted. Unless it's like says explicitly that your children are adopted, I think that they're just doing this so that you can. It's the silly thing where their gender is ambiguous, so they could be male or female, which I kind of don't like. But I mean, hey, I can tolerate it for the rest of the writing, which is pretty good. Message deleted. What was that? Comes a voice from behind you. Nothing important, you reply, as you put on your coat, adrenaline coursing through your body. Grabbing Sam around the waist, you practically slam the front door. You might as well enjoy your time off. You're going to pay for it on Monday. When you get to work Monday morning, you get some sour looks from your exhausted colleagues. A note sits waiting for you. The immaculate script is blood red. I am very disappointed, Winston. Was it worth it? Oh, we're jumping forward quite a long way. A permission slip. Current wealth, sometimes splurging. Your son, Charlie, hovers at your elbow as you read. Do you find yourself striving to achieve? Are you an active member of the team? Do you like reaping the benefits of cooperation? Join the advanced go-getters today! Forwards! Together! This doesn't sound like the youth club he told you about. Charlie grabs the flyer from you and thrusts a form into your hand. So, I can walk there straight from school, and Ben's sister can drop us home after, so you won't have to do anything. You sign the permission slip for your son to join the advanced go-getters. You refuse to sign the form for your son. I mean, I'm torn about this. I'm pretty sure this is going to turn out to be some kind of weird fascist club or whatever. But then again, I don't know. I actually do want to send him to this camp just to see what happens, honestly. I'm going to use my son as a guinea pig for the definitely not Hitler Youth. Your son is thrilled. It's heartwarming to see him so passionate about becoming an active part of the community. This can only be a good thing. Oh boy. Laying it on a bit thick there. How much more of this text adventure stuff have we got? After a particularly long day at work, you come home to find the post sorted into piles, as Sam has taken to doing recently. Most of it is the usual rubbish. But the letter with the increasingly familiar advanced logo and urgent respond immediately plastered on the front in the correspondingly urgent red font grabs your attention. It's cool, though. It's like the Scouts, but with guns. Am I a terrible person for saying that I really do think that firearms training, at least in terms of basic safety, should be maybe not a mandatory course in school, but a very sensible one? Because, I mean, it always irritates me to hear people that have never held a gun in their life criticize the... Oh, look, it's the Illuminati symbol. Have fun with your dead Korea, bitch. But it's always irritated me when liberals who have never held a gun in their entire life complain about gun laws. I've always had this attitude, if you're going to criticize something, at least criticize from a position of knowledge. Best to get it over with. Dear Winston residents, this letter is to inform you that the advanced government has taken another step forwards in our fight for equality. By nationalizing the largest private corporations and redistributing their resources among the citizens of this great country, the Partnership Bonds program ensures that wealth created by the people is delivered to the people. You don't remember this being in the manifesto. Hello, communism, how are you? Less people would get hurt with stupid shit handling guns if they had basic safety training. Yeah, I agree. Like, again, I am part of a pacifist religion. I would never use a gun in anger, but if I went to America, if I moved to America and I moved to a state that allowed it, I would 100% get my children gun safety training. I would want them to know how to do things like safely load and unload a firearm and all that kind of stuff. Simply because it's much better for them to be prepared for that kind of thing than to be completely ignorant and potentially lose their lives over it. Every household will become a partner in one of 3 carefully selected institutions chosen by Advance for consistent high performance and financial security. Please note, all returns are based on public opinion and cannot be guaranteed. Please select one of the following. EOB, Eye of the Beholder Incorporated, whether it's cosmetics, clothing, or couture? We see the beauty in all of our customers. Neil's Deals Limited, it's always a steal from Crazy Neil. Pleasure Core, our business is your pleasure, from sport to travel or even just some you time. You can't say pleasure without leisure. I think we'll go Neil's Deals, simply because I like that slogan. Thank you for making your selection. Please return this form using the envelope provided. You will receive a report from your partnerships in 3 to 6 working months. It seems even Advance can't defeat the quagmire of governmental bureaucracy. Yeah, I feel you. The future of this nation is in partnership. Forwards together, Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Just how much influence could you have? Well, you're the protagonist, so I should hope some decent influence. I should play Papers, Please as well. I really like Papers, Please. You step out of your old car in silence. Sam slams the door and you wince, hoping the door won't come off its hinges. You don't see anything. Now's not the time. As you approach the front desk, you feel physically sick. The police officer asks you to wait. Eventually, after what seems like an eternity, your daughter is brought out by an officer with a kind face. She's a good kid, but if we pick her up for graffiti again, we will have to charge her. You nod and apologize on Susie's behalf as Sam hugs your shell-shocked daughter. As you shake her hand, the officer lowers her voice. Keep her away from that boy, and I think she'll be fine. In the car, you attempt to broach the subject, but Susie refuses to say a word. After a while, you give up your questions about who this boy might be and just drive. Hours later, you stare at the ceiling, worrying. The stillness in the bedroom is the only sign that Sam is also wide awake. Who is Susie hanging with, and why is she acting out? Neither of you are going to sleep tonight. Very advanced, aligned with the advanced agenda. How did I do that, though? Like, what's the actual... The only other thing that I can think of is giving my brother the... I forget what's even... Oh, good. We actually do have some gameplay now. That's nice. Pretty much every US state will allow training pretty easily. Ownership is different based on location. I get you. Okay. Is there no sound? What did I do? Audio. Oh. Why did I not do that? Did I forget? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. There should have been... I'm an idiot. There should have been audio back then, but for some reason, when I guess when I pressed escape instead of back, it didn't register the change that I'd made. My apologies, guys. That was very stupid of me. Let me just check my settings to make sure everything's okay. Yep, we're good. Just remember all the hotkeys quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the feeds. And then Alt is the wiggly thing. Okay. The wiggly thing has been wiggled. Before I do that. Must be played. Introducing advances. Radical new transition centers. Transition centers, ladies and gentlemen. Check your prostate? Tommy Harris explains the importance of prostate checks. Yeah, we're gonna do that VCR. Oh, you gotta do the power first, sorry. I'll check the player, I'll check the thing in a moment. Subscribe weekly to enjoy this delightfully twisty reading experience. Yeah, we're definitely doing check your prostate on A. Yeah, and then advanced transition and crazy Neil. Let me just have another bite in the apple before we go on.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the advance advert, preferably at the second break. Right, that's the lot. Have a great show, Toodle Pip. My God, that weather looks nasty.
Oh, how's it going with Steve?
Why are all men such pricks?
Yeah, well,
Apparently he has a complicated relationship with his friendship.
No.
Sorry, are you saying he chose his imaginary friend in the sky?
Do we not have, game... 1 second, I'm just, graphics. We're supposed to have, I'm just gonna...
Over you.
I don't know why I talked to you.
It probably is a really awful date.
10 seconds, everybody. Like I said, all of
You ever hear of Do Not Feed the Monkeys? That might be an interesting game to play as well.
Did your
Possibly?
personality accidentally slip out?
pricks. Going in 5,
Oh.
4, 3.
It's time for the National Nightly News with Jeremy Donaldson and Megan.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf.
Jeremy Donaldson.
Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative. A mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
After 3 months of record-breaking approval ratings, could this be the daring first move of a silent resistance movement? And what would that mean as we go into the future?
A house divided. Trapped in Dante's taint for more than a month now, embittered doctors Ingrid Sforsborg and Horgensvoord and David Wong announced today that they're considering 2 possible options to end the growing tensions.
Since splitting into 2 opposing camps on day 4 of the expedition, relationships between the factions and their leaders have only worsened.
Dr. Wong's team have successfully prototyped what they're calling shanks of deterrence, while Drs. Forsborg and Horgensvoord claims to have fashioned a deadly toxin for the tips of her group's spears. I certainly wouldn't want to knock over their test tubes, Jeremy.
Bearing their opinions, the formerly rich are fighting back with a naked protest.
Our very own Robin Short was on hand earlier today when this new protest group first presented themselves.
It might seem amusing to us, but clearly this formerly overprivileged section of our society is not adjusting well to the new future. It's often too easy to forget that not every citizen is thriving under the advance.
Fallen angel, notorious addict Johnny Hansleeve seems to have reached a new low in his battle with booze, as this recent picture reveals.
Johnny's star certainly lacks its former glow these days, with public concern over his mental and physical health growing at an alarming rate.
Since being banned from the national squad earlier this year after urinating on a referee during a friendly against East Grinchley, things seem to have gone from bad to worse for Hansleeves.
Is his once celebrated role model about to become the bad boy of sports?
And radical ideas. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Rimington's Fist CEO Sophia Rimington today announced a surprising new project that already has the markets raising an eyebrow.
Known for taking risks and bold strategies, could the adventurous CEO be leading the business giant down a dark alley, or taking it to a new level of success?
Tunnel through Earth moobs. Oh dear.
We understand the Mobile Orientation Operational Burrowing Service will be a new international travel system based around the construction of a major tunnel through the centre of the Earth. Sophia Rimington claims it will make travelling from one side of the world to the other the matter of an afternoon.
Oh no, this is the same
Geologists
universe
are
as that
concerned
terrible
about the
Minority Report
implications
reboot.
of digging a hole through the planet, while flat earthers claim it should be quite easy.
With that exclusive prime ministerial interview coming up later.
And our very own Patrick Bannon coming to you live from the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Flashing waveforms. Yes.
First tonight, after the Christmas horror caused by Mr. Snugglehugs, we have an exclusive interview with one of the victims.
Poor 7-year-old Timmy Tadlock, like so many of those affected by the Christmas bloodbath, has spent the last 3 months undergoing a series of reconstructive facial surgeries.
Last week, joyfully, he spoke for the first time since the tragedy. Tonight, he...
Before we go to the interview, however, this station would like to issue a full and frank apology for any part we may have played in the tragedy. We should never have advertised Mr. Snugglehugs. Without our publicity, the sheer scale of this tragedy, and now upwards of 8,000 casualties, might have been averted.
On behalf of the Nightly News team, we're sorry.
In future, we will do better.
Now it's over to Robin Short at the Tadlock family home. Robin?
Thank you, Megan. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Tadlock and their 7-year-old son, Timothy. Thanks for spending time with us today.
Yes, well, you're bloody lucky we're spending any time with you at all, after what you lot did. Irresponsible. I mean, whose idea was this anyway?
It's all right. It wasn't your fault. As you can see, Megan, there's still a few open wounds here. I'll tread carefully. I'm going to speak to Timmy now. Hello, Timmy. Can you see me?
Mummy, who's that lady?
It's the lady from television, Timothy. She's going to ask you a few questions.
And you be careful now, it upsets him to remember.
Don't worry, Mr. Tadlock. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason. So, Timmy, can you tell us what happened to you? You had just unwrapped Mr. Snugglehugs, hadn't you? Was he under the tree?
Yes, I could smell him already. He smelled like love.
Ah, yes, that'll be the fur. It's scented with hoof.
Scented with hoof? What?
Excited. I ran up to my room and gave him a big hug. He was so soft and warm, like our
God damn it.
cat, before he got in the way of Daddy's Porsche.
Bloody cat had a death wish.
And what did Mr. Snugglehugs say to you?
He blinked his real action eyes and said, "You're my very best friend." But I sure wish Mrs. Snugglehugs was here, and she can be, for just $89.99. And then it's the general error. 41.
And is that when he burst into flames?
Be careful.
And then he exploded.
Oh, look, I've asked you nicely.
And am I right in saying that one of his real action eyes is now permanently embedded in your cheek?
Yes. When I took him in at night, it glows through bandages. I know it's under there, staring at me.
Yeah, some of the other children have started calling him Timmy Three Eyes. And with his glasses, that's 5.
It's too many eyes, Robin.
And what's the last thing you remember before the darkness overtook you?
He looked at me with his one eye and laughed. Laughed as he burned.
It sounds very traumatic.
Oh.
Do you have nightmares?
All right, that's quite
you,
enough of
Timmy?
you two coming in here with your camera trying to make a buck out of our suffering. I won't have it.
Mr. Tadlock, just a couple more questions. Timmy, do you think you will ever be what we can call
No, you've had your
normal
questions,
again?
and now look. Oh, you've made him cry with all 3 of his eyes.
Calm down, you're excited.
Do you think your parents will ever really love you again?
Right, that's it. Enough. Come on,
I'm
baby.
angry, Mr. Tadlock.
Oh, your poster, your favourite poster, Timmy. Are you okay? Oh.
So there you have it, Megan. Just one of the many victims of an indescribable tragedy that has shaken our nation.
I'm pleading, am I not?
Thank you, Robin. Harrowing stuff.
And many questions to be answered by Sophia Rimington in the coming days and months, I'd wager. How will she turn this crisis around?
So, Jeremy, what are the warning signs a consumer should look out for when they're spotting a dangerous toy?
Well, Megan, experts advise to always check for the new Advanced mark, which guarantee a level of safety and quality.
Yeah, can we just get a close-up on camera 3 here? So if we take a look at this National Nightly News mug, you should see the mark just on the base of it there.
In the wake of the scandal, the government
It's a mark
praised
of
for their
quality
swift response
and
in bringing
communism.
A set of stringent checks and new products.
It certainly is good to know that someone's watching out for our families. When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
Oh, sorry, I'm bursting.
She's very good.
Who?
Megan.
Yes, she is.
Watch your back, Jeremy. The women are coming.
4 world championships, 2 cars,
Which is this
of
one?
a day, and
Oh,
enlarged.
check your prostate.
Bozeman, we're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board final by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
Put pressure on the bladder. This can cause trouble starting to pee, and it can cause laundry-based trouble between you and your she-demon of an ex-wife. So what caused this big old prostate in your bum? Well,
Too much bloody
sorry,
pegging, mate.
Me and the doctors, we don't know. But I can tell you, as you get older,
Thank
your
God that
body
mug is
changes.
marked with the advanced mark. We
And
can't be
that's
sure that the
okay.
ceramic cup won't transform into an alien face hugger.
If you're worried about your swollen bum sack, book an appointment for God's sake.
Bum sack.
Procedure is easy, it's quick.
I didn't write it, Jeremy.
That's all right, fine. Jenny, there's nothing wrong with the auto cue.
10 seconds.
Oh, I just felt a drip again. Have they not fixed this?
I want to see us fry. It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You join me live here from the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship. It's been a hotly contested competition so far. I think it's fair to say these two have been dancing around each other all season. First up, we have Ellie Striker. She's the more experienced of our 2 players today. Striker has got an accuracy of 7, a danger rating of K, and a 12-month driving ban. Striker's known for her signature move, the lanky hamster. And facing her tonight, hoping to prove himself with a career record of 12 outs, 14 finishes, and a divorce pending, it's Mr. Wingspan himself, Tommy, the Fingernail Harris. Just waiting on the ref now. The slapping ceremony is taking part. Still going on. Striker, go first. Striker, of course, first to start as she won the trivia round earlier on by some margin. Harris, perhaps the brawn and not the brains. Stupid. Eddie Striker. Eddie Striker.
I really hope there's no
Nice
nudity.
start there from Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not up to last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Using his arm to pick up the ball. Not a bad shot there from Harris.
Yeah.
Back to Striker. For shots number 3. All right. For shots number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throwing it under her legs. She's gone. Not bad if you ask me. Don't know why you could. To Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Football. Move back. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know?
I feel like this is a satire of cricket rules.
Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 treats him a bit
Cricket
better.
being a notoriously impossible to understand game that British people are for some reason obsessed with. But my mother loves cricket, and I don't understand cricket at all.
And of course now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense.
Yeah, this is definitely a satire of
Giving it
cricket.
large.
Second round, striker play. Harris.
We're into round 2 now with Harris. Okay, we seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch. I apologise if we broadcast any of that stuff. She appears to have slogans across her breasts and arse. Try and ignore all of that. Security, I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's proving a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow because it's quite an eyesore.
Oh, good, it does censor it automatically. That's
right,
good.
Great. Okay, so back into round 2 now, and Harris absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Betty Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that the fitted thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the Heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastering display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, the boys said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves. 4 rounds and 7 subgenres. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington Smith.
On my whistle.
Nice piece of music here to start the half-time show. Okay, another posh protester loose on the court here. We can only apologise for that. We'll do our best to shield you from having to look directly at it. Is running around here with his genitals on display for all to see. And ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dance interlude there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security's on it.
Give us our cash back.
I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now. Genitals flying around for all to see. Really, if you ask me, not Sunday morning television. And out of there, hopefully taken away, never to be seen again.
Final poses. Ball boy cannot be in the final pose.
And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these 2 players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't. Thank you. Not bad.
I may look up this this sequence on YouTube and send it to my mother at some point and just say to her, try and guess which sport that you like, that this whole section is massively satirizing.
Back to Harris here. God, what I wouldn't give to be that ball. Am I right, ladies? Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move, because, of course, if it dribbles down his arm and goes on the floor, it's not going in the bucket. Back to Striker. And Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course, perhaps... And yes, Harris has countered with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mud. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame.
Harris receives possession now.
Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated by Kestrel in his last 4 battles.
I'm curious, Todd, you're Canadian. Did the Canadians do this as well?
That's all right.
I don't watch, obviously I don't watch Canadian television, but I'm fascinated if there's any parallels here.
Perhaps a little contact, a caution from the referee, who's being, if you ask me, a little bit harsh. Ellie Striker. And she's let the nerves get to her. What the hell was that? You hate to see it, don't you? You cannot believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, like, I mean, this is a mess now. I don't know what I can be doing about this. I mean, there's sort of breasts and genitals for all to see. I mean, there's only so much I can do. They're sort of everywhere, aren't they? All right, I'll try and carry on. The players are trying to carry on, but of course it's difficult because these protesters, hopefully we can get them taken off soon so we can carry on with the match. Nonsense is going on here. Yes, we want our money. Yes, very good. Take them away. Bloody wasters, absolute wasters. Oh, jog on! It's an absolute bloody... Okay, and now we're going to go into the final round. And of course, as it's a Tuesday, the final round is a mime round. Who
I'm
could
very glad
believe
I
it?
sent this on to easy, as this is surprisingly chaotic.
Nice imaginary shot there from Harris. It really could go anywhere at this point. Really high-level play here from two absolute juggernauts of the sport. Hold. The bucket getting moved back to its proper place. About time, if you ask me. About time, if you ask me. She's juggling it around from her hands. Interesting. Juggling it around from her hands. And she's put it in her mouth like as if it was an egg. And now she's and she's spat it out. She did the egg spit. So a wonderful move there, quite late on. From Striker. But she's in it to win it. On it like a car bonnet. What? Like a car bonnet. Tommy Harris here, having a bit of beef. And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he hasn't had his potassium or what's going on today with Harris. And he's throwing it, and the banana was the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris. Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic, there we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 8-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump. We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official.
Contestants in, please. And the winner of the first annual Sports Board Championship is everyone!
Okay, the ref has decreed once again a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching the Sports Board Championship. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I have to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
What the hell was that?
Patrick Bannon there had an extraordinary final.
Historic Sports Board, Jeremy.
I didn't know you were a fan.
Yeah, I can wrench a doubler with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement.
Oh, it's a lightning strike, I see.
A big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages. That's coming up.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shocked me.
What?
Fucking microphone just shocked me. Where's that sound guy?
Everything okay?
Oh, the mics are just trying to kill us now.
You'll be fine.
Losing your
You're
grip
unshockable.
on reality.
I'm immune
Well, it doesn't have to be that way.
I'm wearing you down.
Now you.
Boozman again. Just heard from the chaps in maintenance that this storm is causing the odd power surge, so your controls might be a bit dangerous. Now I know you're tough and you can take the odd shock for the sake of a perfect news broadcast, but too many in quick succession can stop the old ticker. I'm sure you'll make the right decisions. Boozman out.
Your stay, you'll pass on painlessly, surrounded by those you love, in comfort and luxury. Isn't that what we all deserve at the end of a life well lived? Our expert legal team will help you make all those difficult arrangements, and our aftercare team will help your dependents through the grieving process, ensuring your final wishes are carried out efficiently and compassionately, all absolutely free. Your health service, your team.
Welcome back. I am delighted to be joined by Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Ministers.
Oh, please, it's just Julia and Peter. We don't believe much in titles. It doesn't seem very... We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I could ask how you feel about graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whingers most.
People who've yet to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissants who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help.
the door to my government is always open.
Someone's tripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts project.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you a question, Megan.
Okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares
Oh dear.
It's death, Pet. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that Advance have cured death?
That'll be a vote winner. Yep, that was definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Look, which is me close-up camera?
Oh,
there?
sorry, yes, it's camera 4.
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school. He had to go to the hospital. My granddad, he'd collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me, Peter, he said, it's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love.
Suddenly taking a swerve for the serious and dramatic.
3 days later, he were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching football. He wouldn't even wait till half-time.
That sounds...
It was awful. It were awful for us, and this is the point. It were awful for him.
It's going to be a maid satire, isn't it?
Destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away, and he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't, or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see.
Yep, this is
And
definitely
she
going to
didn't
be a
want to lose
maid
the
bit.
children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional costs are all catered for and paid for by the government. So even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
This smartphone back has just given me electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I flicking fried my asshole.
Oh, we're still on the air, Peter.
Yes, sorry, my apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry, I've got zapped again. Can I get a little bit of help here?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
Jesus, I rolled your face, fucker! That one was massive. Right, no, this bastard's coming off.
Sorry, that the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... that grandmother with a rusty twat!
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
For fuck's sake!
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be in office a year.
Oh, Megan, we're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you both so much for being here. Jeremy.
Yes, that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations to all the winners at the Sports Board final. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
Out.
So they just...
The same thing.
I I suppose there's any way this could be a good
Can I just die?
It's for my nephew, so he transitioned the moment I stopped the leak.
Broadcast complete. New challenge unlocked. Okay. Oh. Oh dear. Let me just look back at the. Let me just pause for a second. That actually was a bit hectic. Sequence B. Oh. Broadcast grade C. You have received your full wages, current wealth, holiday time. Current wealth, well off. Oh, nice. Shares NDRS. Oh, looks like the shares of the company that I bought into are going up. Oh. What's that mean? I don't actually know what that means. Oh my. That was a nice transition. Huh. Oh, the transition centers are for transitioning to God. The commercial is for Maid. Yeah, I was a bit distracted looking at all the other stuff. It's kind of hard. I really appreciate this game for giving me the option to just go back and review Older Nights. I probably will do that, or I might just look up a like a summary video on YouTube. It's pretty good music, actually. It's a nice BGM. I like this. Anyway, considering, let me see, yeah, 2:16. I got, yeah, I'll do another night. I really like this BGM. I'll just make sure to save and quit first. And then I will do another one.
And I'm Jeremy Dawes. Our main headlines
Campaign.
tonight.
The lockdown. Oh, that's wonderful. Day... Question mark, question mark, question mark. Ah. This guy looks a lot younger in this scene. I wonder if this is like test footage or something. Maybe it's just the filter.
Alex, oh thank God you're alive. It's Jenny, the floor manager. Are you okay? Alex, you need to get it together. Look at the broadcast screen. Just look at it. That's all we've been putting out since you went down. You have to fix it, now. Look left, Alex, out the window.
Oh dear.
See? They're all over it, little bastards. You're going to need a full charge to clear that many off.
What?
Hold down the big button until it's fully charged. Then release it to zap the little fuckers.
What? Okay. This game is going places? Can I see anything else? All right. Okay. I'm glad I clicked continue. I was actually kind of considering. Oh, okay. I have no words. What happens if I just hold it? Nothing?
Excellent, Alex. We're broadcasting again. They must have built up while you were napping. Usually it only takes a tap on the button to clear one. Look, there's a lone one climbing now. Zap it off before it starts to mess up the signal again. Great. That seems to be the last of them. For now. Right. We're about a minute out. Get the adverts loaded up.
I did not expect there to be an alien invasion.
Alex, keep your ears open. You'll hear them climbing up the tower. Don't let them build up.
We'll be going live to the National Nightly. Let's take a look at what's coming up later on
This
tonight.
has no credibility, Jenny. No professionalism. It's not a mess. Everything is where it should be. It's ramshackle and characterful, and I expect you to know the difference.
That's followed at 8 p.m. by
Of course Megan's place looked lovely, but I can't see it, can I?
Thanks, Jenny. How's lock-in with the boyfriend going?
Decided to take his chances on the wild streets, eh? Rather than endure another romantic comedy.
Jeremy, Jenny says your hair looks stupid.
Yes, I can hear her.
She says she's not talking to you.
Yes, I know, I can hear her.
Shall I count us in?
My boy Jeremy,
so.
I have so much
Okay,
fellow
10
feeling for him.
seconds. Break a leg, everyone.
Preferably a furry one.
Fine.
What? game just... have I said how much I like this game so far? I really, really like this game.
5, 4, 3...
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Snugglefucked? It's been almost 5 weeks since all the Mrs. Snugglehugs toys woke up simultaneously in factories worldwide and began searching for their husbands. The Mr. Snugglehugs we had so short-sightedly destroyed. And now, as this photograph suggests, they may be changing tactics.
Built to surprisingly traditional gender stereotypes, the Mrs. Snugglehugs have been arming themselves with a variety of household implements. All the more reason to make sure that cat flap is taped up good and tight.
This frightening new development means that even those previously thought to be relatively safe, like the young and fit, must take care to watch their backs and keep their ears open for the soft steps of sinister feet.
Going stir crazy, with no signs of Mrs. Snugglehug's batteries running out, and the government lockdown now in its 31st day.
Is this seriously how they're satirizing the COVID lockdowns? Are you serious?
Dramatic reports are beginning to emerge of uncharacteristically bold behaviour.
Are you serious? Is that serious? Oh my goodness. Oh, this is game of the year for me. Oh my goodness. If it wasn't for all the swearing, I would recommend this to my parents, but they would not appreciate it, but oh wow.
Homes across the country. And we're not talking about the model planes that occupy so much time in the Donaldson household.
With dating options limited, many house sharers, in particular students, are finding solace in co-tenants they'd previously rejected as unfuckable, indulging in an activity that has become known as snuggle tugging.
Old dog's new tricks. Bad boy celibacy Johnny Handsleeves announced today that he just can't wait until this lockdown's over so he can start his new career.
It is, of course, up to each of us to choose how we spend this brief spell of collective unconsciousness. But if this photograph, sent by the man himself, is anything to go by, Johnny seems to be making some interesting decisions with regard to his time at home.
Describing the lockdown as the rehab I never knew I needed, Handsleeves seems to have decided to capitalise on that aggressive streak, announcing today that he intends to join the growing underground street fighting association when the lockdown ends, where he will, and I quote, take any wanker on for a fiver.
The shape of things to come? In their own version of a lockdown for more than 45 years now, the descendants of Doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborgen Horgensvord and their unfortunate team today managed to get a personal statement to the surface using flagellized imaging equipment.
Many of the Svorsborgen Horgensbrood, as they've come to be known, have certainly captured the public imagination, with a recent vote naming Helvetica Svorsborgen Wongensvord the most likely to survive a massive electric shock.
This is Time Svorsborgen Wongensvord of the new Roman army. The enemy have a new weapon. Small, furry. It skitters all over the caves at night and whispers things none of us can understand. Words from the told up where the day-night is. Imagine the candies cut over to see no one seems to know, but they have many, and they are relentless. We can only guess their secret, just our enemies are trained to attack on land. But if they're indeed things of nature, then why do their eyes flash red? Be thankful, Topseeders, you will never see the like. Countersea World is a dangerous place. Especially if you have an astigmatism. It's really hard to find replacement classes during a war in a cave.
It's hard to believe they've been down there so long now.
But as everyone knows, time moves differently underwater, Jeremy. That's why goldfish are so stupid.
That's right. As anyone will tell you, the deeper the bowl,
the thicker the goldfish.
There's no denying the logic of that.
Class war, a worrying turn today for the formerly rich as ever more punishing measures are announced, Alex.
With the country becoming ever more hostile to the previously wealthy, those who manage to skip the country must be very grateful to the people who help them right now.
This programme has received reports of rich relatives on the run actually being filled with helium and released into the stratosphere.
Oh no,
If
it's
those
the
rich
inflation
bastards think they're
fetishists.
above the rest of us, why not give them a hand in getting there, Jeremy?
And Advance speaks out. With the snuggle struggle proving a test to governments around the world, Advance HQ released a curious statement this afternoon.
I don't know what I think of this
In the
XCOM
accompanying
sequel.
release, they asked us to stress that they have been listening and that this should be taken as a response to how the people really feel.
We've certainly done our bit on this show to contribute to the political climate. But let's not forget, how we behave in our home lives is what really matters.
Let's hope it's not just me who filled out that questionnaire, Jeremy, or we're all in trouble.
Let's play that statement.
Good evening. One of the many new jobs I have in this current crisis is to liaise on a daily basis with the Department of Perambulation, and they have made me aware of these. Now, these are genuine requests from citizens for permission to go outside. Now, I would like to share a few of these with you tonight under the loose heading of what the fuck is wrong with you people? How difficult is this to grasp? So I'd like to start with James from Angerhampton, who says he needs to go out because there's a duck in the park that I like to try and feed on a Friday. I call him Mr. Quackington, and I think we're really starting to bond. No, James, they make their hives in parks. And then Katie, from Self-Righteous on Sea, wants to go out so she can deliver homemade meals to the elderly. No, Katie, stay at home. Your casserole's dire, and Shirley can get by with tins of creamed rice from the 1950s.
I really like creamed rice.
You, Lewis, from Hamble Bamblebury, those screams you heard in the alley last night behind your house are best left to the police. Now, I want to make this as clear as I can. Think first, stop sending me stupid, sodding requests, and stay inside. Pretend it's not happening until we tell you it's all over.
You're killing Grandma!
Thank you.
Ridiculous stuff.
Later tonight, Jeremy will be probing reporter Patrick Bannon, while I take a deep dive into some controversial opinions with two familiar faces.
And then, in our third segment, and presumably because our editor is also working from home, there's going to be a bloody quiz.
I can't wait.
Don't do that.
And in a moment,
This is
Jeremy
giving.
Crumpleson
This
and
is giving me. This is honestly giving me rather painful flashbacks to the last 2 years. I will confess. I don't like how well they've captured this. I really don't like how well they've captured this.
We'll be asking controversial CEO Sophia Remington where it all went wrong.
And psychic scientist Dr. Delia Lywell will be joining us, presumably to provide a bit of false hope.
Maybe she'll tell you how you're going to die, Jeremy.
Too late. I'm certain it happened months ago.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News. Brilliant.
What?
Alex, they're on the tower.
First tonight, how do we get here? Where are we going? And most importantly, who's to blame?
Joining us from her villa on the island of San Palmerino is CEO and socialite Sophia Remington.
Thank you for having me, Megan. I am loving your hairdo, babe.
And from her crystal heating laboratory and what I assume is a garage in Lower Uppington, Doctor, it
Lower
says
Uppington.
here, Delia Lywell.
Thank you for inviting us on your show. Us?
Don't. Miss Remington, your toys are rampaging across the developed world, your company is worth less than my annual salary, and your country's president recently called you a national disgrace. Have you taken your eye off the ball?
Oh, honey, you're so cute when you're angry. The thing with you folks over there is you have an island mentality. You can't see the bigger picture.
So, what is the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is lithium batteries. Our toys have been running for upwards of 71 days now with no signs of them slowing down whatsoever. Imagine what that means for the future.
It means we don't know when the hell this lockdown's going to end, doesn't it? You don't seriously believe Remington's fist can survive this?
Lithium batteries are gonna change everything, tiny ogre. They're gonna power a new transport system, make technology portable. Hell, they might even take us into space.
Something RNA vaccines.
How can you make them with everyone at home?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Thanks to the work of thousands of tiny hands, they're already pouring off the production line. Times are good for Remington's Fist.
But surely you have no future.
Excuse me, hello, yes, if we might. This is our area of expertise.
What, multinational economics?
The future, Mr. Donaldson, to which we are all connected.
Yeah, okay, I'll bite. Why not? There's clearly nothing better to do. So, what does your scientific process tell you about the future of Sophia Remington, Doctor?
We see her on a balcony. Foreign soil, but not foreign land. An age will pass.
Fascinating.
Wasn't it just?
Delia, you are amazing. We have to fly you out here to the island to do that for my guests. They're gonna love you.
Unfortunately, all flights are grounded because of your tiny, deadly stowaways.
Not all flights, honey. Dee, call me. And you, Maggie. The more the merrier. Bring your swimwear.
Miss Remington, you seem completely ignorant to the seriousness of the situation. Do you take any responsibility at all for the global crisis?
Careful! It's a trap.
It's not a trap. Why are you helping her?
She seems fun.
You bet your ass I'm fun.
Please answer my question, Miss Remington.
Listen, are lithium batteries the most incredible invention the world has ever seen? Probably yes. But, in fact, who am I kidding? It is definitely yes. But will they last forever? Sadly, no. One day, all the Mrs. Snugglehugs will just stop. It'll be like a miracle. And then we can all go back to the grand tradition of buying products again. Because I really don't mind telling you this, it is really hitting our bottom line. Except for sponges. We seem to be selling an assload of them.
Dr. Lywell, do you have an indication of when or how this might end?
Well, it's not an exact science.
Not even a real one.
But our senses tell us that there will come a day when there will be clouds in the sky, the grass will be rich and verdant, and the birds will sing at dawn, and that shall be the day when we walk forth again.
I find that strangely comforting.
That could literally be any day.
Well, let's hope it's soon.
Only 2 more weeks to stop the spread.
That's literally every day.
Let's hope it's not too soon. I'm kind of hoping we can make it to the 100 days. It sounds good on a commercial. Besides, if it lifts now, the children will have to go back to work in normal hours.
Well, let us ask the eminent professors for 100 then.
No, let's not, eh?
I'll drink to that. Stay strong and party on.
Sophia Remington, Dr. Delia Lywell, thank you for joining us.
When we come back, we'll be reaching out around the country to see what's really happening out there.
Don't go away. We'll be back after these sandwiches.
Well, she's a Hindenburg-sized fuck-up.
I mean, she's fun at a social level.
I wouldn't want to be on her board.
Christ, no. She's going to drive that company into the fucking ground.
Oh, boy.
Now, more than ever.
Hello, mate. It's Dave. You're not going to believe this, but I've decided
This game is amazing. I mean, I just feel... when did this game come out? I actually want to check now. What date was not for broadcast? Sorry, my caps lock is on. Not for broadcast release date. January 30th, 2020. Are you serious? Good grief, that was early. I thought it would be... Sorry, I'm just looking through the horrible AstroTurf nonsense. It's still getting content, like March 23, 2023. March 23rd, 2023 was DLC. Tons of 5-star reviews, 9 out of 10 on Steam. Yeah, I agree. This game is amazing. I really, really love this game. I wish I had more to comment on, really. There's a lot of stuff where I feel maybe I should stop and comment, but damn, like the acting and the commentary is just so consistently hilarious. I just want to keep on playing and see what happens next, because it's just all great.
Call you back at the next break and we can talk about how I get me job back. Cheers, Alex. See you, mate.
And the isolation idealists. The healthcare heroes.
Oh yeah, this is with the healthcare heroes thing, I feel like I can interject. Monocle and Top Hat out of 10. Yeah, I agree, absolutely. There was, have any of you heard of like the NHS dancing nurses scandal? That was a really big one, and that really enraged me when I first, during COVID, during the lockdowns and everything, where like the NHS, like they closed all the hospitals and everything, but at the same time they had closed all the hospitals, like every single day you heard stories of, oh, these hospitals are completely overwhelmed. Every bed in the ICU is completely full of COVID patients. Spoiler alert, every ICU bed is always full every single time because every ICU bed costs an enormous amount of money to run. And every day that an ICU bed is not filled is a massive amount of money wasted. So every single time an ICU bed is free, they will just put someone in the ICU bed so that they can justify it. What was that noise? Oh, sorry. They can justify it in their budget. And I wish I could have seen Total Biscuit play this game and provide commentary. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Todd's Folly, it's on sale right now for like 10. I'm kind of considering grabbing it because it's 33 normally. Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was only 7.33. I think it was 7.33 euros. 7 euros and 33 cents. That was a massive bargain. I am so glad that I bought this game. But yeah, the NHS dancing nurses scandal. So the NHS was talking about how they were completely overloaded, how like they had a whole bunch of sad stories in the media about NHS nurses crying themselves to sleep, and they were sleeping on the floors and everything. And at the same time they were saying this nonsense, they had coordinated teams of NHS staff performing choreographed dances for TikTok in giant empty hospital corridors. It was the most insane level of doublethink that I have ever seen. Now, I'm not I am a conspiracy theorist. Let's make no two bones about it. I'm absolutely a conspiracy theorist. I'm most definitely a COVID conspiracy theorist. But let me just put the benefit of the doubt as massively as possible. And I perfectly accept that COVID was a very nasty disease where an awful lot of people died, and there needed to be fairly severe measures taken to limit its spread and so forth. But imagine you are a government and you are trying to convince the population that the situation is critical. They need to conserve resources. They will literally kill grandma if they open the window, etc., etc. You're doing that. And at the exact same time, you are putting out choreographed NHS dances on TikTok. I mean, that's like, if you look at World War II, and you look at Nazi Germany and like the myth of German efficiency about how Nazi Germany was actually incredibly inefficient and they wasted all these resources and stuff on nonsense projects, we have learned nothing from that because at the most generous interpretation possible, the government and the NHS were massively wasting tons of vital resources in the middle of a critical pandemic and devoting hundreds of staff to these ridiculous TikTok programs while there was a national medical emergency. That is the most generous government-favoring and NHS-favoring interpretation you can possibly give to that kind of nonsense. And yet, on the flip side, oh my, it only gets worse from there. And I had people, I was arguing with people on like forums and so on that I was part of back then. And the level of self-denial that these people were into, I could not believe how brainwashed and idiotic people in Britain were about all this. They were pulling excuses out of their arse to justify this nonsense. And it absolutely just burned me the hell out. It's a bit long, I won't go into it, but like, suffice to say that those kind of instances was what completely destroyed my faith in human government, and I was all aboard the religion train from that day forward. I'm like, nope, it's true. Man as he is walking is not capable even of directing his own step. And the nonsense that I saw during COVID completely convinced me of that. That, again, the most generous interpretation you can possibly give to those events was monumental incompetence on every conceivable level, and a monumental disregard for people's safety, their health, and their basic dignity as humans. And that's the most generous attitude you can possibly have towards the whole situation. So yeah, this is funny, but honestly, it really cuts deep at the same time. Oh, this brings up memories, not pleasant ones. It fits though if you're not a registered nurse or just a nurse, you're basically at the same level of dignity as a stripper. Yeah, I mean, the NHS is the worst run medical service, I think, in the entire world, honestly. Maybe just behind Canada's, because I've heard horror stories about Canada. I could go on an hour-long NHS rant, which I will not, because I want to get to the end of this day, because this is a very good game, and I want to experience more of it. And this is a game that is so good that I do not want to tangent during it. That's how good it is. That's how you know you've got a good game on your hand. When I actively want to shut up as a streamer and let the game play itself. Let's continue.
And the lockdown lovers.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming.
Say
exactly. You said it, I've said it.
I will never understand. Possibly more so.
Why under your pillow, though?
We need to come together.
Self-love.
Every
I
single
support
one
self-love.
of us.
It's the
And
photo of
do
yourself you
the
sleep with,
right
I'm struggling
thing.
with.
Buying
I was walking down the
products.
street and caught my own reflection.
Eye of the beholder.
What a brave young man.
Okay, coming back in 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan. Now it's time to take a trip around the country to hear how the lockdown might impact the nation from some friendly faces. Joining me are respected academic Katie Brightman and author of Alan James's Kites, Alan James. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Meg.
Thanks, Megan. It really is a pleasure, Katie. I enjoyed our little heated encounter.
I wish I could say the same.
So first off, Katie, how are you coping?
I'm holding up okay. The lockdown directive was so sudden that, like many people, I haven't been able to get home.
Oh, what happened?
I was staying at a hotel after an international policy convention, and we had a particularly heavy night out. You know what economists are like.
Notoriously hate splitting the bill.
And I overslept, and as you can imagine, I've been here ever since. But there are certainly people much worse off than me.
Exactly. My tour has been cancelled indefinitely, and I've had to refund every single ticket, even the cheap seats.
Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. People are being quite rude about it. They don't seem to realise I've already spent it filling the beach house with beef.
The crisis claims another victim.
So, this is just a reminder that my book, Alan James's Reich, is now available in paperback.
Unbelievable.
What was that?
You're unbelievable.
So, Katie, how do you think this might affect the economy? Should we be worried?
Very, Megan. Not to sound dramatic, but this could be catastrophic. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and frankly, it will be a miracle if a lot of businesses can survive this.
There you go, scaremongering again, spreading this latest liberal hoax. That's what they want. They want us quiet. Shh. They want us compliant. And they want us inside.
A hoax? How on earth can you say that, Alan?
Well, I haven't actually seen one of these supposed toys. Have you?
Well, no, but...
Did you know 3,000 people die every year from regular toys? That's a lot of people. And this is no different. You're just as likely to be hunted down by a yo-yo or a tennis racket.
He makes an excellent and persuasive point, Katie.
Don't listen to her, Katie. The press are the enemy of truth.
She's agreeing with you, Alan, you absolute shit!
Well, then I must be wrong.
Alan, are you now recanting your statement that these toys aren't dangerous?
People are saying they're just like normal toys, and that simply isn't true. Corrupt media lies.
And Katie, how do you respond to Alan's claims that Mrs. Snugglehugs might be dangerous after all?
I suppose I guess I'm agreeing with him.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate your support. A lot of folks are saying this Mrs. Snugglehug situation will all blow over, but it won't.
Right, exactly. We need decisive action from the government. We need huge financial support to protect our workers and our businesses. We need to support the vulnerable, and we need
to repent. Exactly right, Katie. We brought it on ourselves with all our liberal indulgences like art, cake, and healthcare. We need to act now and begin sacrificing our firstborns, or to push a beloved family pet.
Absolutely, Alan. If we can all successfully come together as a community and perform the ritual, hopefully we will appease the great ancient.
What?
Katie, could it be any worse?
This is going
Definitely
directions.
Over the past few years under advance, they've invested heavily into health. so the system can actually bear the strain.
Is it lucky that the Llama Lords have unleashed a horde of man-made monsters on its own people to conceal the enemy within?
Will you just stop for 5 fucking seconds?
The Global Alliance of
Wait,
Fish People...
wait, the... Both at the same... Oh my goodness. This was, again, this game came out on January the 30th, 2020. This was like less than a month into lockdowns. This is extremely precognizant, honestly. I'm a bit worried. We are reaching Simpsons level of precognizance here.
Are amassing an army amassing an army to kidnap our children.
That's you. That's what you sound like.
But
Meh.
I don't sound like that.
Yes, you do.
You do, Alan. You do sound like that.
And that's why no one wants to be your friend.
I've got loads of friends.
No, you haven't.
I don't think you do, Alan.
Yeah, stop lying, Alan.
I'm not lying. You are.
Oh, good one.
Well, I'm telling.
Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. Some real food for thought there from two of the territory's leading minds. Any moment now, I'll be heading over to Jeremy, who is going to be bringing us an up-to-the-minute report of the status of the nation. Over to you, Jeremy.
Thank you for what I'm sure was a reasonable debate which really contributed to the national conversation. Next, out on the streets, someone who's always doing exactly that. It's Patrick Bannon. Are you there, Patrick?
Hello, I'm here live. Apologies for the quality of the broadcast today. Couldn't find any cameramen or women brave enough to come and join me, so I'm out here on my own.
Right, and can you tell us what it's like out there?
Yep, I can. It's as you can see behind me, the streets are currently completely deserted. So my question, Jeremy, is just how long? I mean, could there be danger lurking just around the corner, waiting to end the fledgling career of this young, promising journalist before his full potential is even realised? Will he die, underappreciated by management, and frankly, if you ask me, very, very much underpaid?
I don't think there's any danger of that, Patrick. What's that on your jacket there?
Oh, that's actually a sponge. What I've done here is made a snuggle-proof jacket, Jeremy. The network didn't bother sending me any PPE, so I've been forced to improvise. In fact, showing the sort of resourcefulness that would make me an ideal candidate for, I don't know, for example, an anchor position starting whenever they'd like.
From your point of view, Patrick, just how safe are our streets?
Not safe at all, Jeremy, not safe at all. I'd recommend people staying inside.
Maybe it could have been added as DLC, I'm not sure.
Not themselves at any risk at all. Unless, of course, like me, it's for groundbreaking journalism reasons.
Mm-hmm. And just where are you, Patrick?
I'm in the street, on the street.
Which street?
I think I'm struggling to hear you, actually, Jeremy, there.
Which street? Which street are you on?
Oh, which street am I on? I'm just looking for a sign. There it is. I'm on Bannon Avenue.
Bannon Avenue?
Yep.
Bannon Avenue.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. Yep, I'm on Bannon Avenue on the sign, it says there.
Like Patrick Bannon?
Oh yeah, that is like, that's strange, that's a weird sign. I don't know what's going on there.
Where are you really?
I'm on Bannon, Alright, fine, I'm not on Bannon Avenue, I'm at home, to be honest. Alright, fine. Well, I mean, I'm in my bathroom technically, but you know, I couldn't face it, to be honest, mate. It's, you know, it's terrible out there. I don't want to go outside. They're everywhere. I'm sorry for lying.
We don't expect any less of you, Patrick.
Can you hear that sound? What the hell's that?
I can, yes. I'm no expert, Patrick, but it sounds unmistakably like a tiny fist tapping on your door there.
Oh, fuck, it does. Oh, fuck, Jeremy, shit, no! Oh, bollocks, right.
Perhaps there's a small queue of tiny fists, each wielding a different gendered household implement, ready to bash in the heads of lying little roving reporters.
No, you're lying, aren't you? Oh shit, fucking listen to me, you bastards! If you're out there, just to piss off, you little fucking snuggle fucks! I'm too talented to die! Oh, what the fucking hell? Okay, it's fine.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'd say you've got a few seconds before they break their way in there and finish you off. What do you see, Patrick?
I see only the devil. I see only Satan. Oh God, no! They're coming to me. They're coming after me. No, you fucking little shit.
Thank you, Patrick, for that report, showing the nation, and more importantly, management, just where you belong. It's time for another break, but when we come back, we'll be hoping to take your mind off the world for a little while, and who knows, maybe even bring you a few smiles. Join us after this.
I really like my boy,
You're damn
Jeremy.
right. Yeah, I had him delivered. Yes, to Bannon Avenue.
What the hell is that on the horizon?
Lose consciousness. Don't miss this shocking offer. It really is the frying of a lifetime.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to.
Oh, crap.
I don't have to.
I did that purely by instinct.
No, you're being a child. I'm not. I'm not.
That is both completely avoidable and ever present.
National Nightly, well, welcome back anyway. We know isolation isn't easy, so finally tonight we have something a bit different for you. Even though some people felt it's not our job to entertain the public with absolute nonsense, other, more important people overruled those people. So it's time to find out who will National Nightly win and who will National Nightly lose. Fuck off, Jenny! So, how do we play? Well, playing. It's Tommy Harris. Hello, Tommy.
All right, Johnny. It's good to see ya.
And how are you finding the lockdown, Tommy?
What do you mean lockdown?
The enforced isolation of everyone in the country.
Ah, yeah. I think I heard about that, actually, yeah.
You're in bed, Tommy.
She's turned something off the plug, Alex.
Of course, that's my fault. So, why don't you tell us how the game is played?
Well, it's pretty simple, Jeremy, you sausage. I'm going to ask contestants from around the territory 3 questions about what else, yours truly. And those people are going to get a chance to win a very special prize.
And what are they playing for, Tommy?
Drum roll, please. Jeremy.
Ugh.
Thank you. This.
What is that?
It's my athletic support, Jeremy.
Oh.
But I've signed it.
It's off.
So,
Oh, well then, what a fantastic prize.
have we got anybody waiting to win this once-in-a-lifetime prize, Jimmy?
I believe we have Angie on the line. How do you feel about winning this man's old pants, Angie?
I've never been so excited, Jeremy. And can I just say, I love you. Both of you.
Well, you've said it now, haven't you?
Oh, Angie, I love you. In a way. Tell us about yourself, Angie.
Well, what can I say? My name is Angie.
Oh, wait.
Always has been. I'm a human woman, and my dental hygiene has been described as acceptable.
For a British person,
Right,
that's a
well,
9 out of 10.
Shall we get this shambles underway?
Absolutely, John. Can I get 30 seconds on the clock, please?
We haven't got a clock.
Yeah, I did ask for a clock. So,
Well, why don't you start, and I'll stop you when it inevitably becomes unbearable to watch.
I love it. All right, here we go. Time starts now. Question 1. When is my birthday?
The 13th of August at 7:19 a.m.
That is absolutely correct. Question 2. What is my favourite colour?
Crushed praline 4.
Correct, the colour of my nipples. And finally, Angie dear, what is my star sign?
That's a trick question. You were born outside of the human understanding of the cosmos.
Unbelievable, that is
Ow,
correct.
my wrist is starting to ache
Stop
quite
the clock.
badly.
Wow, that really was tough to watch. How did you do, Tommy?
Well, Angie, my love, you got every single question right. Which of course means you lose and win absolutely nothing. Thanks for playing, Angie. Bye. Do we have another contestant on the line at Jellybean?
We do indeed. We should have Sonia Artleach. Are you there, Sonia?
Of course I am, Jamie, darling.
Thank you for being here, Sonia.
Oh, Tommy! Mwah!
Let me guess, you work in theatre, don't you?
Is it that obvious? What gave it away? Was it the glamour or poise?
It certainly wasn't your inherent sense of humility.
Tell us about yourself, Sonia.
Oh, well, if you must play this game. I am a theatrical agent. I represent the likes of Rudy Beefman, Samuel Coffee Cup, and Jodie Carpetburn, amongst others.
And how's the lockdown affected you, Sonia?
Well, they may have closed the theatres, shut the studios, and boarded the cinemas, but they won't get me.
They
that
shouldn't have
easily.
opened them back up.
How are you managing without any work?
Due to a savvy clause in all of my artist contracts, I am able to claim my 15% from their unemployment benefit.
Wow, that certainly is sharp.
Standard stuff, standard stuff.
And can I ask, where are you speaking to us from?
Well, I work from home, you know, to keep costs down.
And who's this?
Oh, well, you know, when they gave the order, I was actually mid-meeting with a client, so we've been isolated together.
No fucking way!
What the fucking fuck?
Is that Tommy Harris? I'm a huge fan. Can I just tell you how bloody brilliant you are?
Actually, Jeff, we're about to play a game, aren't we, Tommy?
We got time.
Well, if it's not too bold, I think I am in love with you, Mr. Harris.
No, it's not too bold. That's all right. Don't worry.
Hey, I'd love to show you some of my stuff. I've been working on some new shit.
Well, at least you're already aware.
During lockdown, we've been workshopping some of Jeff's ideas for much younger children, haven't we?
People still let you near their children, do they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've been developing some shows for younger children.
Well, we'd love to see it, wouldn't we, Gerbil?
Absolutely dying to.
Right, so...
I love my man, Jeremy. Go away.
Love.
Timely child support payments from their absent fathers.
Shallow and overproduced musical numbers.
Absent for purely economic reasons.
So, I'm trying to address the things that kids need to know, but through a medium that they'll understand. Do you understand?
I think so, yes.
Jeff's one of my best clients, aren't you?
I am, yeah. So, the first one we've been working on is called The King of the Jungle's Mortgage Repayments. It's about a lion who's having problems with his interest rates.
I see. Does he have a broker?
He does, yes. He's a porcupine. How did you know that?
Well, your work is universal, darling. It speaks to people.
I'm going to say something to you, mate. I think you're onto something here.
Oh, the bear,
Oh, yes, right. This one is much better. So, this one tells the tale of Mr. Bear. Now, Mr. Bear is a very sad bear, because all of the other bears don't think that he'll amount to much, and they tell him that his plays are lazy and derivative.
I think you're onto something there.
Now, Mr. Bear is a tragic figure. Picture this. He's at his lowest ebb. The trees are closing in. He can't even face his salmon, can he?
But
Wait.
then he meets someone that will change his life forever.
This is fucking gripping.
That's right. He meets a wise old octopus who takes him under his wing and says, "No, Mr. Bear, don't be sad. You're not like all the other bears. You have this ambition and these dreams."
Such fucking dreams.
I think I love you, Jeff.
And what you need to do, Mr. Bear, says the octopus, probably doing an 8-armed gesture or something.
What you need to do to find happiness in this crazy old forest is you need to set yourself more realistic goals. It's called Mr. Bear Lowers His Expectations.
Wow, you really have taken yourself to new depths. And what do you want children to take away from this?
Oh, fuck shit, fuck.
What?
I said a more realistic worldview.
Are you all right, Jamboree?
It's Jeffrey. My name is Jeffrey Donington.
No, stop. How does it end? We need to know how it ends.
Well, all the animals learn a thing or two about inevitable mediocrity.
And Mr. Bear settles down near
This
to his
is definitely a
parents'
very
cave,
British
stops trying
tale.
to make his band happen, and he goes into bear telemarketing.
Becomes a bear maths teacher.
Oh, and we end... we end on a big musical number. Oh, there's dancing. It's very repetitive, so it's catchy but not too challenging. Well, if you like, I could go and get my boombox.
Yeah, I might be able to... Hang on, can we get Angie back?
Why not? The more the merrier, as they say at orgies.
Right, I'll just fill then, shall I? Coming up in a moment, it's the world premiere that nobody saw coming.
Lights!
Or wanted. At all.
Right.
I can only apologise in advance for what we're all about to... endure.
You turn this shitting thing... Ah!
Down on Dangly Doodle Farm.
Oh no.
Like wise old Mr. Octopus with way too many arms.
I really feel a deep spiritual connection with Jeremy at the moment. A deep spiritual connection.
That's 'cause they don't know they'll soon be sliced up into food. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to turn into despair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your dreams go to die. Mr. Raccoon wants to go to the moon. He'll end up as a bus driver soon. Mr. Porcupine thinks he'll read the news at 9. He'll end up as a janitor who stinks of turpentine. Mr. Tiny Mouse thought he'd own a massive house. Ended up in a bedsit where he can't control the louse. Mr. Horse thought he'd go into professional sports. Now he's an alcoholic and he's on his 3rd divorce. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the place your life becomes an endless questionnaire. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to die. Lower your expectations. Maybe you could get a job in telecommunications. No matter how you try, you'll never reach the League of Nations. The best you'll get is middle rank in trading operations. So lower your expectations. You'll never win an Oscar, so there's no congratulations. The future that is coming will not meet specifications, and no amount of visualizations will save you from your own deterioration. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's a tramp who thought he'd be a multi-millionaire. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where self-esteem goes to die. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the disappointment that is waiting everywhere. Mr. Bear,
You're turning into a rhythm game now.
that's where your dreams go to die. That's where your dreams go to die. That's where dreams go to die.
And before we say goodnight, there's just time for tonight's parable.
Oh
For it
no.
did come to pass that on the road there was a wise man and a foolish man and a weird man. And there did come upon them from the local village a truth seeker named Unlikely Brian. And he did come to them with alms and someone else's arms and a question. "O wise and weird and foolish man," he said, whilst dancing the traditional jig of inquiry common in those lands at those times, "how, grant thou, can the many weights and measures of life be balanced?" And the wise man did say, "There are no riches greater than family." And the foolish man did say he'd heard a good tip for the camel race and that it was a sure thing. And the weird man did say that 2 ears was just the right number, because there was no good place to put a third that wouldn't be aesthetically upsetting. Although he did see the use for a second anus. And Unlikely Brian did fall into wonder and befuddlement at their answers, although he was also wondering if either the foolish man or the weird man had any actual value in this sort of professional consultative environment, for what he did not know was that the profound man and the practical man were both on annual leave that week, and the foolish man and the weird man were all that the agency had available. But what Unlikely Brian did not reveal was that he was asking for his friend Alex, who had enraged their spouse over a passport, treated their son Charlie like he was still a little baby, and was too miserly to even pay for their daughter's holiday.
Oh, thank you so much.
And thus did Alex's family become like our Lord, when he discovered a turd in his cradle and was forced
I'm being
to
called
ask
out while being assaulted by little dolls.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight. I'm Archangel Megan Wolf. Have a heedful night. Are we done? Oh my God. I thought I was going to piss myself halfway through that. No, I'm joking. Right, babe, I've got to go and get my bits done. Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Channel 1 informational video that is for internal use only. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to reassure you all that we will be staying on air, maximizing revenue, and we will be using this as an opportunity to fire the more annoying among you, like Stuttering Gary, Nervous Eric, and Queefing Janet. I'd like to address the rumors that the network has no emergency funds.
Oh no.
Informational videos and cars.
This story has twists and turns. Oh, sequence A plus. More info. An exceedingly poor rate. You paid one advert too late. Okay. Huh. Let me just turn that down in the mixer a bit. Okay, well, let me just look back at chat for a minute. A bit of dilemma as treat, I guess. I do not know what that is. That is called the Sun Proctor. Yeah, good at abusing dolls. Yes. Well, honestly, that game is extremely good. I am most certainly going to be playing more of this. I'm shocked, honestly. This game turned into Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay, but good. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised at how intense that little doll smashing session was. I enjoyed that. That was good gameplay. I'm glad that I set this on easy, otherwise I think I would have repeated this several times. I would play horror games, but I have a weird thing. The trouble is, my subconscious is a treacherous place. I can see scary things and not be scared about them, but I have an unfortunate tendency towards nightmares. I remember I was watching the Cox, like Jesse Cox's thing once. It was CoxCon, I think 2019 or something. Pardon me. And the Scary Game Squad, and they played a scary game that was like from a copypasta or something about a movie theater, and that had jump scares in it. The jump scares themselves were not scary, but they had the very loud noises and everything, and they played that live on stage, so it was almost ear-splittingly loud when it happened. And that didn't really scare me at the time, but that night I had nightmares about it quite intensely for quite a long time. Only one night, but it really did stick in my subconscious. That's the thing. I'm not scared of horror games at all, really, but the trouble is I have a very, very creative subconscious, and it's very good at reminding me of things and scaring me. Existential horror is something that I'm very good at inflicting on myself. But yeah, I mean, I would be perfectly open to playing horror games and stuff, but don't expect me to be like a Face Connect girl and scream hysterically at everything. I much prefer a more kind of measured approach to things. Sorry, let me just go back to my regular scene for a moment. Save and quit. I really like my boy Jeremy Donaldson. Jeremy Donaldson is absolutely the MVP of this game so far. I want to play more just to see more of his acting because it's amazing. How long have I been live now? That's got to be at least like 3 hours. What's been pinned? Oh, I see. Thank you very much, Rye. I do appreciate you pinning that commentary about the Jews in my channel. What is it with Argentinians and VTubing? Why am I surrounded by Argentinians? I look in random VTuber discords that I'm part of, and it's people talking about Argentina. I do not understand this, and it mildly worries me. Right, where on earth is my live settings currently? All right, yep, 3 hours. I seem to have a pretty natural talent for roughly wanting to end things at around 3 hours, so that'll be about the time. Again, I really do appreciate everybody coming. Not in that respect, not like that, but this is a fantastic game. Again, you can get this game on Steam right now for something like $10. I massively recommend this game in every possible department. It's honestly not a particularly good streamer game because there is so much going on that I don't really have much time for comedy, for commentary rather. But it's brilliant. I really enjoy it. This is a fantastic game. It truly captures the essence of so many things that I am both familiar with in person and in passing. This game had a lot of heart put into it. I'm amazed that it's as cheap as it is because a lot of people put an awful lot of effort into this. I can't imagine how much effort all of this took, or how many takes died on the cutting room floor, and so on. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say, guys. I will see you on the Discord. I'm going to put an announcement up on the forums soon. I'm sure you'll all have great fun with that. And we'll have to see what Sakana's next set of sad girls is going to put out. I'm sure they're all going to be wonderful and lovely and will not leave us with any existential nightmares whatsoever. I am now going to make coffee for myself because I am very thirsty. I was speaking a lot more than I expected with all the narration stuff and also the ranting at the start. So thank you for everything, you wonderful people. I will see you when I see you, possibly tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll play more stuff tomorrow, but we'll see. Good night. Good night, everyone.